I'm a party starter. We
Mom,
might have a good time, but we party harder. So tell the DJ to play my song, and we can go all night till the
no.
early morning. Oh, okay. God damn it. And now well, at least I know the bot is on time. I struggled to get that sentence out.
Are you scaled up?
No, I'm my normal size. You're
Uh,
scaled down. You look small. That's what I've been
No.
saying.
Mm, Same height as
You
always.
look tiny. Look, now I get to do the
Thank you
pinching
No,
thing
it's
at
scaled
you.
up.
so much. This is exactly what I wanted.
Hello, everyone. Well,
Hello, look, this is Totless's big return to streaming.
oh,
Welcome her back with balloons. Chat, can we
don't.
can we get can we get some balloons in chat? Thank you. There we go.
I missed you. I missed you. I missed Jet as well, to be
Not
completely
not
honest.
not balloons. Balloons. Anyway,
No
yeah, it's been like
balloons.
what? How long has it been since like a quote unquote normal stream?
A week?
Well, no, I
7 or
mean
8
like
days?
before the event.
Oh,
Because you took time off before the event as well, where you didn't stream for a while.
I don't know. That's like actually over a month, I think.
Yeah. I mean, even this still isn't technically a normal stream, because we're still going to be talking a lot about the event.
But yeah, today's gonna be a lot of event talk, I guess.
Yeah, this chat. I hope you're ready for us to like pull
We're
the
gonna
the
spill a
carpet
lot of
back.
beans.
Yeah, we're gonna talk a lot about everything before the event, leading up to it, during the event, because I'm sure you want to talk about how the event actually went as well. Um, but yeah, essentially this is gonna be like the 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 event where no more to talk about it. The finale.
The people
Yeah.
balloon. What?
People balloon. There's no people balloon emote. Ben, add people
Yes, I see
balloon.
it.
You see it? Why
I
don't I
see
see
it.
it? I don't see it in chat or in uh
I see
why
it
don't
in
I
my
see
own
that?
chat.
Yeah, I don't see it. I see it in your OBS. I don't see it in Chatterino and I don't see it in Twitch. 7TV is having a field day.
Ah,
I see Christmas blush balloon. I don't know.
yeah. Might need to control R in chat. Refresh it.
Are you on 2.5.1? Ben, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm on 2.4.4. I haven't updated my Chatterino in a long time.
Who the fuck is Chatterino?
You do.
No, I don't.
You don't use, oh yeah, you don't use Chatterino. I forgot.
I tried it for like a week back in like 2020 or 2021, and I never used it again.
I mean, it's useful. It's to me, it's not as parasocial as like VRChat X. Like that's more parasocial than that.
Yeah, no, I have
The,
no issues with
here,
it. I don't need it.
I'm
here's the
gonna
way
have
that I
cheesy
mainly use
dreams
it and
about
the way that
that.
I look at it. Um, Chatterino is good for knowing who's live. If I have people that I like to watch when I'm live and I either don't get Discord notifications or they don't make any form of announcements because Twitch is awful about letting you know who is live. So I just get to see a little list, and if there's a red dot next to the name, then I know that they're live, and I can tune in and be like, "Ah, Ken is live," or whatever.
Yeah. Mod
It
pings
does
I can
also have,
understand.
yeah, like, mod function. Like, "Oh, somebody's spamming, you know, ASCII dicks in chat. Time to clap them."
I don't even use multiple tabs. I barely watch streams in general.
Well, yeah, because 'cause you're a streamer. You, like, do the streaming. You don't really watch it unless it's like Chromia, you don't really watch. Yeah,
Yeah, I
what
think
happened, Raspy?
Chromia at this point is the only one that I like regularly. Well, Chromia, Radiant. Is there anyone else?
You don't watch my streams?
I do watch yours if you're
Your
live
fries are going to be
at a
my undoing, I
convenient
swear to
time, I
God!
guess.
I mean, I stream on days that you don't stream at the time either just before you go live or when you're normally live.
Yeah. No, if I'm not streaming myself, then God damn it, Chris. Yeah. If I'm not streaming myself, then Chromia, Radiant, Chris, you, sometimes Asby, but not as much.
His stuff is harder to watch because it's mostly just racing stuff. No offense, but unless
Yeah,
you're
for
like big
me, I
into
guess it's
racing.
more of like interacting with chat. He doesn't
Yeah,
really. He's too good of a
yeah,
player. He doesn't need to interact with chat.
yeah. He plays the game well, so he doesn't have time to
Yeah.
interact.
Hope
But
everyone
yeah,
is doing good though.
yeah.
Let me just quickly. Wolf Stone, thank you for 41 months. Sly Snake, thank you for 11 months. And Blind Fairy, I think for 17 months. And fuck it, Ben, for the gifted.
That's rude. Christmas is in 4 days, yeah?
Yep,
Fuck, man. It's
I
coming
look
up.
forward to it.
Yo, got your presents ready? Chat? You got your plans? We had
I'm
an
ready.
eventful Christmas. Or not Christmas, but December.
Yeah.
And November.
November was worse because once it rolled over and I realized that, yep, we're not gonna make it, I kind of leaned back and started to I completely accepted it. Like, I think December 1st or 2nd, that's when I like completely accepted it. Sure about that? I'm sure about that.
Yeah,
And
I'm
that definitely helped on my side. Otherwise, I would have been run into the ground.
yeah, it's I'm like that in a similar thing. But except with hurricanes. I'm always like when hurricane season is happening, I'm looking out for it and I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm nervous, I don't want my house to be fucked up." But the moment that like the storm starts, I'm like, "Well, I'm in it now. Nothing I can do." And just go with it. And I take it that that's how you were of just, well, it's happening, so we'll just see where it goes.
Yeah, kind of. I really
But yeah,
like leading up to it, like for the entire year, I guess the goal was to make like a very high production professional. That was the goal, a professional type of event. And I still want to do it at one point, make like a proper high production professional feeling event. That's not really gonna go away. But
yeah.
with the
I mean, that's
expectations like completely put to the side, it makes it easier to focus on just having fun and like enjoying the moment, I guess. High free also.
hello, Gecko. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we're here to talk about though today. That's this main topic of podcast of so that Christmas event, eh? All the stuff that was leading up to it and everything that changed, like you just said, the plan from the beginning was we're gonna have this big spectacle, we're gonna have this big event. It's gonna be high production, high quality, high, you know, all this stuff. And it didn't quite turn out the way that we wanted, or the way that you wanted at least. We got a bunch of stuff done, and I
Yeah,
think everybody's happy with the result. And that number in the corner there of, $50,000 definitely shows that
Yeah,
people did
that
enjoy
bitch of
it
hers
and were
gonna have to work
very charitable
overtime.
and giving,
yeah.
despite our scuff. I
We
mean,
reached 50K in Fireside Chat as well at that.
yeah. I mean, having it up during Fireside and just like anybody can donate at any time, really, I think was helpful. Because then people can just, oh, I didn't make it to stream. Let me just, throw a bit of money to support and then continue on. And a lot of
Yeah,
people just enjoy fireside chat. It's just a
yeah.
vibe. And I also
Fireside
just
Chat
learned,
is definitely like a big part of it. Yeah.
yeah, I learned just a couple minutes ago that fireside chat isn't going to end until Christmas. So after this stream, it'll still be there. So don't you worry, chat. Don't think that that's over. You've still got your little fireplace to chill out in.
Oh yeah, I didn't say it in announcement, but we're gonna do the raffles today. I should probably have added that. I will do another
You
thing
should,
later,
yeah,
but
when we
I'll
start doing the
type something
raffles.
out.
So after this podcast chat, so stick around. We'll be doing the raffles for all the people that donated and submitted for the raffles. You'll have a chance to win a bunch of different stuff. There was like the Mimi plush, I think, the Mr. Mimi plush. There was like waifu cup and signed stuff like Christmas cards, right? I don't remember
Yep.
everything, but there's certain stuff that I remember. But yeah, it is. Stick around after the event. The guitar as well, very lovingly made by CS Fiction.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, it turned out very well. So yeah, but where do we want to where do we want to really start? Because we can start a long
Well,
time ago.
yeah, I guess we can start like actually from the start. I think the first proper like event team manager meeting we had was it was relatively soon after the summer event. I don't know if it was before or after the 4.0 debut. But that was like the manager team basically sat down and discussed like the base ideas. There might have been a couple of more. We kind of talked about it like on and off.
Yeah,
It wasn't only the managers. Like we had like small talks.
yeah,
But
it was the event people. Um,
yeah,
Did you know that?
there
yeah,
were
we
there were
were
talks
really
about it
early with it.
on and off.
And from the start, I had a fairly good idea of what I wanted the finale to be because it's the 5-year anniversary, and we didn't really celebrate the 5-year anniversary, so there's probably gonna,
No.
a lot of the stuff that was planned originally is probably gonna come back in one way or another for next year. Maybe a
Yeah,
little bit different, adjusted, but yeah, those ideas are still gonna be there because I'm not happy with the event from like a 5-year anniversary point of view, basically. But yeah, from the
it was
start,
a successful event, but it just wasn't what you were looking for at the beginning. It wasn't a
yeah,
good celebration of 5 years of this event.
yeah, it's gonna be a memorable event for sure. But in my opinion, not for the entirely right reasons, basically. Um, but yeah, from the start, it was kind of like, yeah, it's the 5-year anniversary. I wanted to do a throwback to the 2020 event. So reusing the original cabin, like the layout, that was actually part of the plan from the very start. The original idea
Yeah,
was actually for this room that we're in right now. This was supposed to be, I don't want to say 1-to-1, but it was supposed to be like visually somewhat identical to the original 2020 cabin, layout wise, looks wise, design wise. I wanted people to look at it and feel that, yeah, this is kind of the same idea that the 2020 cabin was based on. And I guess in a way, I think I specifically said I wanted this room to be what the 2020 cabin was supposed to be, kind of. Um, that
y-
didn't quite end up happening. Things got changed around quite a lot.
yeah. That was I was talking to you very briefly before stream of yeah, my thought of what I thought like this world, this house was going to be was just essentially taking that original cabin, sprucing it up and making it just a little bit bigger. And that turned into this massive you know, log cabin in the woods as opposed
Yep.
to the comfy cabin but just made a little bit bigger for more people, a little bit more stuff. So that was what my original thought was going to be, but didn't quite turn out like that. Uh,
Yeah.
the other thing, one of the earliest ideas from that. Well, I mean, I guess if we're still going in order, there was talks about stuff periodically, like every once in a while, getting the VC and do stuff. But then we kind of quickly realized San Diego's coming up, TwitchCon,
Yeah.
and that kind of put a pause on everything.
Yeah, you could say that.
Where we were thinking more about, oh, we got to make plans for the trip. We got to make sure everything's good for that because that's like IRL stuff. So it made doing meetings for stuff harder, and that's like right at September where we should probably start thinking about what we want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, we did start proper meetings beforehand. We just didn't like commit to the like full front planning, I guess.
Yeah,
Um
that was just ideas.
yeah, and even like when we came back, we didn't start up immediately either because I got very sick and I made a lot of other people sick and energy was just not really quite there, so it took a week or two before we fully got going. but even then, we were good on schedule. We were like, things were looking the best they ever had. Like, we
Yeah.
were ahead of time, we were ahead of plan, we had things figured out, we had a solid plan, a clear idea of what we wanted, how we wanted, except for one thing. And I guess I, myself at least, didn't quite realize how much things were relying on it at first. It kind of like gradually came to realization as time went on. Reality sets in. And I don't think most of us either realized it.
I think some of us did
But
realize that we kind of need it
Chat, you are
for
so
a
random.
lot of the stuff that we want to do. And that was the world, right?
yep, not
That,
necessarily the world actually.
well, I
Like
mean,
that's the thing. We got the world very quickly. The
yeah,
initial like outside environment world, that was done in like from the point of complete like fully commissioning, like agreeing to terms and stuff like that. From that point to receiving the files, it was less than 2 weeks, I believe. And
it,
after that point,
yeah,
we sat on the environment files for I think over a month. I think close to a month and a half almost before we were able to actually properly start on the house.
yeah. And I think we have some pictures of like the snowy landscape of just
Yeah,
everything before the trees, before the house, of like we had that for a while, more or less.
yeah,
And that was kind of where we got stuck because you can have a world, but you kind of need a house for the world so that you can hang out in.
yeah. Um, so to kind of put it into perspective, we didn't really. We had a fair amount of stuff planned for the outside, but almost every single thing that was planned for the outside, um, they partially relied on things related to the house as well. So we couldn't properly plan things out. Usually, like we could have technically, like for example, one idea involved. We'll talk about these ideas later as well. One of them
Mhm.
involved making like a path that would go around and connect to where the start is. Like not necessarily a circle, but a map or not a map, but
Yeah, a
like
map, a path.
a path. Yeah. Um, that could have technically been done without the house in mind, but I personally really wanted it to incorporate the house into it um because of how big the house was kind of becoming, or like we were realizing that it would need to be a fairly big house. Um, for the house as well,
Ye
the original idea was to make um a, a way smaller house that was heavily Scandinavian inspired and also like more of a grandparents type of house rather than a luxurious like cabin winter lake
yeah.
house.
There was a lot of, images being sent in the meeting chats of, this kind of vibe, of like this kinda house, and even at a certain point, floor plans, but that was later. Uh,
Yeah,
all of this stuff to get the vibe of the kinda house that we were looking for, which was,
you
yeah, like
can
the
put pictures
cozy
up by the way
grandmother's
as we talk
house.
if you want.
Yeah, that's what I was like, "Hey, get the snowy area and all that."
Oh. um,
Uh, but yeah, so we really needed a house. for it. Again, you'll have more information than I will because you were there for like every meeting and you were doing all this stuff. So I'm just gonna kind of throw what I know out there. Of like, I mean, was the plan always to commission someone to make a house?
Yes, because we wanted to see
Hmm.
that's part of the problem. We wanted to outsource it to save time. That was the like entire reason why we wanted to commission it, because it would save time.
Yeah, this is the land before the house and the trees and all that. I still think that looks really pretty.
Yep. It
But
doesn't
yeah,
really need
so
a lot of trees to make that look like pretty. Um, yeah, here you can actually see as well the original world that or nature environment that was commissioned. That was actually made with um a sunset in mind rather than making it night.
yeah,
And that was kind of something I had to figure out as well, because I didn't have like proper lighting settings to achieve the desired like night type of look.
yeah, and I mean, I agree with like Chris. This lighting, like that lighting in that picture, the sunset, I still wish it could have been like a toggle to make it so that like, oh, here's a day version, a sunset version, a night version. That way, like throughout the day, like either on stream or just hanging out, you can choose what you want, like the outside. Because the nighttime is nice. Don't get me wrong, but there's something about like that sunset where you're like, ah, I just got home from school. I'm gonna hang out with my friends on a nice snowy day, and it's lovely outside. It gives a different
Yeah,
vibe. But yeah, that was what we originally got. That was the floor plan. Um, oh, bye. Uh, so yeah, the idea was to commission people to make everything. That way, you have more time to work on
I
outfits
swear.
and
Who the
other
hell is this
things
Kim
and all this
everyone
stuff.
keeps
Like that was the
asking
original
about?
plan of,
yeah,
okay, we have this, plug and play, put that in the world. We have it. We can get people to fill it with, references. We've got a whole team of people ready and willing to make props and assets, and half the shit in here wouldn't have been made without their help. So thank you, 3D
yeah.
team.
The entire event team came together in a way that we have never done before, and like there's never been an event that has relied as much on the rest of the team as this one. Like,
Yeah.
this would not have happened. Why
Also,
didn't you commission then?
yeah,
Yeah,
what Lay just said. Why
we
didn't you commission then? Well, about that,
well,
give that to you.
um, do you wanna add the like blender picture of the top right one
Why
then?
would you throw that at a
Yeah.
cat on the
These
internet?
are the only photos I could find, by the way. I'm sure there are better photos, and if
Yeah,
Skull or
the
Roggy or people that know better pictures want to send them to Ben, behind the scenes, feel
yeah,
free to because it'll help. But
there we go. Here you can see to be completely honest, this picture doesn't really do.
no, again, it was all I could
I don't
find.
want to say do it justice. It's more like this doesn't really show off why this didn't work. And I've talked about this a little bit before. This is the original cabin house that we commissioned. Um, this is supposed to be what we basically had ready made, so we could just drag and drop it into the world and not have to do too much editing. And again, I want to pre-emphasize this with the person we commissioned, he's credited in the world because I have reused a lot of the like parts of that house to make this cabin that we're in right now. Heavenly Kendrick, I believe their full like username is. Um, they did a fantastic job. They provided quality assets the problem is that partially I didn't just want to take command and commission what I had in mind. I wanted it to be a house that everyone liked, that everyone had had some form of input. And at the same time, with everything going on, I was also very stressed. So I wasn't entirely sure if what I wanted to go for was the right thing or what we needed. I was also kind of split on design. So for me, what I was missing was basically I was not able to give him proper feedback. And because we were so late on time, I basically just said that continue in the current direction, just so that we could at least get the assets, so that we could start experimenting and creating our own stuff. And I don't remember exactly how long it took. Also, before we did, this is the second person that we commissioned. So the first person we commissioned was someone else. I don't want to say their name because that didn't quite work out, and I don't want to throw them under the bus, and because I don't have a full context and I don't know everything on their side. But to put it bluntly, and it's also partial why I don't want to say their name, they did not provide but on their updates really. They were not really fast enough, and they did not give or they didn't the quality wasn't really what we expected or what we wanted, I guess. So I believe no, there was no proper communication, and at that point it never even got to the point where we could really give feedback. It never even got there. So
Uh-huh. See, I even
yeah,
missed this part.
this was um I believe after 2 weeks, maybe after 3 weeks, that's when we switched over to the other one.
Which is this one on screen.
Yeah.
Man, that was
This
very simple.
yeah,
Like,
this that's on screen right now, that commission happened on terms were agreed upon and work was started on November 1st. That's when we made the switch. That's when everything moved over and everything got going. So from that point, I think it was around the 20th, maybe, when we got
yeah.
the house files and we were able to properly start on our own designs. And again, keep in mind, this house, that's not really what we wanted. That house is
Yeah.
more reminiscent to a more simple sketch that Flops made. That was kind of just, it wasn't
Yeah, I
really
think
a plan. It was more like just, we were internally just discussing ideas.
yeah, I think part of
And
what was said was the house that we were given was more American closer styled as opposed to the Scandinavian of which you were trying to go for in terms of design and everything, right? I remember that was said at some point.
that's a machine.
Yeah, that's on screen, right?
Um, I don't think that really was. This is also not fully, because this one doesn't have the balcony or the cover or anything extra like that. But visually from the outside, the house was too simple. Inside, it was too square. It was too simple. The
Yeah, and I
main
think that
room, the kind of with the big windows, that was pretty okay, I would say.
yeah, there are pictures from the inside, and I know I think Raspy definitely had little drawings of okay, we could put a chimney here and do this stuff here, trying to make the best out of what we were given.
Yeah,
Figuring out what we were gonna try to do to make it not look so square.
Yeah. And again, I want to pre-emphasize that, or not pre-emphasize, but I want to add to this that this house was the quality of this house, even though the layout wasn't what we wanted. This house was so like I've commissioned a lot of stuff, and they provided excellent quality. Like they had normals baked, they had custom textures baked, they had objects were linked, which means it's an optimization thing where one, for example, window can be linked. So instead of having 5 identical windows, it basically creates one and just makes a duplicate of it. It optimizes that. It makes the GPU work less, basically. It had a bunch of stuff like that. So it was like great quality for what it was. The issue was just the layout.
Yeah. It wasn't quite what you were looking for, which again goes back to we didn't fully know what we wanted, so we couldn't give proper
Yeah.
feedback on all of it. So this is what we got, and we were trying to make the best out of it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, now remember again, this was around the 20th,
Yeah.
maybe a couple days after. Um,
So
okay. What do you want to say?
I was gonna say that a lot of the days that we had planned, they were relying on the house. So as you said,
Yes.
20th, and we didn't have the house. We didn't have the layout even. We
Yeah.
didn't
So
know what the layout would be. So it was impossible to really move forward with most of the days.
yeah, a lot of the future days relied on having something to work off of.
Yeah.
And that is when you decided, hey, I'm going to make an entire house from scratch the way that I
Uh,
want it to look. From nothing, having nothing, to I'm going to build an entire log cabin with my bare hands. You, Chad, do you understand why the event started a couple days later than, the first?
I can say that I'm
Because
proud of the design though.
yeah,
That's
believe me, it looks stunning. It looks very well. The fact that you made this is insane. But yeah, and the other thing is that you can't like this is all in your head. This is all things of like that you're doing. So people can't really help you too much. Like they can
yeah.
make things for the house when it's done, but they can't design the house with you. They can give you ideas, but yeah, so starting essentially from scratch, not so then yeah, and asking for
Okay,
help.
no. I will
Oh,
disagree on this one. I explicitly multiple times said I don't know what the house should be. I specifically asked a bunch of times that I needed help with references, get feedback on not opinions, but like choices, what style we wanted. That was something that was uh, I don't want to say agitating. I think that's the right word. It wasn't that I was getting annoyed. It was more like it's a difficult thing to talk about because a this is complete volunteer work. It's not expected of anyone to like help out. It's not expected or demanded of anyone to
yeah,
help out. It's completely up to each and everyone how much they want to help, if they want to help, and with what they want to help. So it's not really something you can, you know, pester people too much about.
yeah, because it's
And
all
yes, it might have been that I was not asking the right way. That might be it, but it was um frustrating. Yeah, frustrating. I guess
yeah.
this
I think
would be the right
frustrating
word. Yeah,
best. Uh, yeah, having not, or I guess not having the full clear idea and being able to express that to people of like you don't know what you want, but you also need help, but you don't want to force people to help because again, this is all everybody doing things of their own goodwill. Uh, it's a whole thing of miscommunication and stuff like that.
And yeah, and yes, to what Raspius said, I think that is the main thing, not asking the right way, but also recommend that if you need help at something, ask someone, not just asking a group. And that is kind of what ended up happening. Because once things properly started going and like I was starting to get more feedback and stuff, um, I I was kind of like recurrently asking for feedback from specific people, mainly because I know that they did provide a lot of feedback. So, for example, Owen provided a fuck ton of feedback. And getting feedback and a proper, like, yes or no on whether things looked good, looked right, that helps a ton. And that was definitely a good, like, helped us move forward. Bosch provided some as well. Chris provided some. Raspy did. Flops. Sean.
It's just going down the list
Everyone
of the
in
people in the
the event
event.
team,
Yeah.
yeah, provided some at some point, or like,
Yeah, a lot of references.
yeah,
I know
Skull,
Skull helped
yeah.
with. I remember them talking about like
And Morning
roofing
Audio,
stuff. I'm like, this is out of my league. Like, I live in a house, but I couldn't tell you like how to build one. So somebody like that who's
yeah.
helping is
Oh
a
yeah,
good a
that was
good pair of
something.
hands.
That was something that Skull specifically. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna take the camera here with me because I just want to.
Oh,
I could actually probably fly it over there. So I'm just gonna. We're going through the wall. If we
whoa!
can reach. Okay, yes, we can. This part. That part right there. How the roofs connect. That was something I was struggling with quite a bit. And Skull explicitly, like, this part got done and finished and looks the way it looks thanks to Skull. And I think it turned out great.
Yeah,
Because that making this
that
connect and
experience,
look right, that was like at least an entire day's work.
all for that one little part of the world to look nice, of which a lot of people probably just walk by and don't even notice. But the fact that they
Yeah.
don't notice is good because that means that it looks
Yeah,
natural. It
that's more
doesn't look
important
out
to
of
me.
place.
Yeah. I don't want if they don't notice it, that means it was done correctly. Because there's a lot of things that I'm not fully satisfied with, but people haven't pointed it out, so I view that as, you know what,
Yeah, that's a success.
it's okay. Yeah. So another thing that's worth mentioning as well is that this house is it's basically built in sections, so it could super easily be cut up, either made smaller or bigger.
Yeah, I mean, part of making it
As
smaller
in,
was, I mean, if like that area right over there used to be rooms, right? Like there was planned those doors to be
yeah,
going to places. But
yeah,
through time, I mean, that's why this place doesn't have a kitchen. We had to cut off pieces and sacrifice things.
yeah. And I don't know. I assume most people here have either been to or seen
Emotional Damage Deluxe on Blu-ray
the
and
latest like
DVD.
Cabin World by Sam VRC. It's like one of the most popular worlds right now.
Yeah.
That one feels so cozy, and I've been looking at it in detail so much.
It came out like a couple
That
days
there,
after this place.
Yeah,
which is funny.
that one has the vibe, or yeah, that one has the vibe that I really wanted for us to have. And I think one issue is definitely just how big and open it is. It's difficult to fill out a space and making it
Yeah,
feel natural
I feel like this is closer to like a ski lodge
and
resort
event hall.
type building. Like you go here on like the ski lodge. It's big. It's it stores a bunch of people. Whereas the original idea was, yeah, like your grandmother's cabin, like your
Yeah,
grandmother's house, comfier.
actually, I have a specific picture that I have saved in my Christmas folder. It's one of the references.
Oh, yeah, a lot of reference pictures were taken before and after now
Yeah,
for this event because a lot of work was put into making it all look nice and pretty. Uh, but yeah, I mean it. I think it turned out well for again what it was for what it turned into.
oh, I actually have. I can show this as well.
Oh,
This is not the original thing that I wanted to show, but this is Flop's original sketch that we were talking about earlier.
oh yeah,
This was kind of just something thrown together during one of the meetings. It wasn't like an official plan. This is what we're going to make. It was just we were talking ideas and we just wanted to get something going. And they kind of based the whole design around this. Again,
yeah,
didn't provide any feedback, so I never said that was wrong, which I
yeah.
guess that alone would have been a simple, like, yeah, this is not what we want. But at the same
I,
time, I could say that this is not what we want, but we didn't know what we want. So what would I say? Tell them to like
yeah.
make.
Make a box, and then we'll we'll figure it out, right? Also, can I just say I really do love that everything that Flops does, even like basic sketches like that, are on cardboard and like marker. Like they really commit to the
Yeah.
bit, and I appreciate that.
Um. Here we go. This is one of the original pictures that I really like wanted to go for. It has that homey family type of feeling. It's
Yeah,
lived in. It's not perfect. It's not the most luxurious best thing in the world. It's home. And
exactly.
that's not really what we achieved here. This, if anything, I would compare more to again the 2020 cabin.
Yeah,
That even though that
that was
was
the point.
done with the intention of making it a set, like design wise, it still feels more lived in.
Let me-
Um,
But yeah, this is what turned out, and again, from literally nothing to this being made, I think you did an amazing job. And I know that people really appreciate this world and have enjoyed falling asleep on that couch right there,
yeah.
Neko.
Um,
Uh,
this those three images are kind of what ended up being the main design references.
yeah,
You
you
can
can see the
kind of see like
inspiration
parts of
on
inspiration and influence from these.
massive window right there. But yeah, it a lot of work went into that. And even so that was kind of what you were doing for the 2
Yeah,
weeks prior to the actual start of the event. Of every day you would
yeah,
be in the meeting Discord working on the world.
yep. And the thing with that is that as soon as like reality was setting in and I like it really you really realize how far behind we had gotten. I kind of like tunnel vision. Like
Yeah, like there was
the only thing that was like on my mind was to like get the house done as soon as possible. So I kind of just I stopped entirely becoming involved in the actual planning, which is also
yeah,
part of the reason why this
which
is one of the Christmas events that this is the Christmas event that I have been the least involved in planning wise for the actual events, which sucks to put it like
yeah, like there
completely
was
bluntly.
a lot of stuff that we wanted to do that you would need to be involved in that we just couldn't do and would have to get changed or whatever, or even like I know you mentioned like when we were doing the filming bits that we were gonna originally use for stuff, which we'll talk about later. You were sad that
Yeah,
you couldn't be a part of that because it looked like a lot of fun. But at that point, you were
yeah.
so deadlocked
That
into the
that was
thing.
probably I don't remember what day that was.
It was like I think a
Um,
couple days before the actual event, so probably like the 28th or something.
yeah, something like that. And basically, there were. This was before that, like bumpers. The bumpers were basically the ones without any audio. It was just kind of like random things happening visually to visually fill the air. Um, these were we recorded like some of them were the like vines that were
Yeah,
remade, but we also had like some other
I
ones.
had an idea of what if we I just looked at a Vine compilation and we picked out some iconic ones and recreated them because I thought it'd be funny to like put them around, intersperse them wherever if we need to fill some time. And then we just made a bunch or other little shorts of just recreating
Yeah,
stuff or whatever it may be. Uh,
and welcome moderators.
yeah, welcome. Those were a lot of the fun to do, and I know you
Yeah, the
saddened.
there was one bit that didn't end up getting used. It was a it was a play on Inside. Is
Oh
that what
yeah,
it's called?
Inside Out.
Inside Out. It was basically a bunch of them were
We
using
we
the
went
like
to we
tallest
went to
themed
the
avatars.
yeah audience anarchy world where you can like I think the freestyle version or whatever where you can just pick a set, and we picked a house and we all got into our Totless avatars, and we were gonna be different parts of Totless's personality. So, like,
Yeah,
one person would be the horny aspect of, like, Shan would be the horny, and, Chris would be the sleepy, or Kitten would be the brains, and I'd be the, voice of reason. There was, like, a bunch of different people, all different aspects, but it just
yeah,
never came to fruition. We couldn't really figure out exactly how to do it or how to make it work well. But the
yeah.
idea was fun. I still wanna do something like
I
that.
personally I was dying laughing because I was in the Discord working on a map and they were screen sharing it. And I was actually dying laughing when they were recording that bit in particular. I thought it was so funny.
Yeah, I'm sure
Um,
if Rocky still has it saved, we could find it and show it
yeah.
because he did record it. I don't know if he saved it though.
Um,
Rocky's going for a trip. Damn it.
yeah. But aside from that moment, like, I was actually feeling depressed and so fucking sad that I wasn't able to participate in those recordings because it was just such a fun thing. Probably one of the best things that ended up being in the finale. I just love those like stupid random recordings. I love that
Yeah.
type of
It
stuff. I probably one of my favorite type of content.
yeah, it's just
Honestly,
people having fun. We were just like, let's record some stuff.
yeah, and
There were
this
a
was
couple
all
other ones
like
that didn't make it.
unscripted,
Yeah,
as
it was
unscripted
just
as it could be, since it was based off of existing media. But
yeah, we were
it
like,
was
who would
just,
be
yeah,
good for
let's
this
take a
role?
camera and go in game and record.
Uh, yeah, it was a lot of fun. But during all of that, you were very deadlocked into just building the house. And it came to a
Yeah,
point where we realized the world isn't going to be done by December 1st, which was the original
yep,
plan for the event to start. Like at that point, I think there's a picture of it. It's not too in depth, but you can see like the original layout of where the bedrooms were going to be for all the Only Neckos, and like the original floor
yeah.
plan, and
Oh, yeah, you can show that picture.
just to give like a little insight, by like even by that point, we didn't even have the bedrooms for the Only Neckos figured out, and the event
Yeah,
was like a day or two. The floor plan one.
yeah,
Uh,
the blender one with, it's like,
yeah,
or
top down.
from top down, has colorful text on it.
But yeah, so like even by that point, we didn't even have the room, so we couldn't exactly get stuff to put in them. We had, I mean, as you could see, there's some stuff, but like thankfully we had Shan, who was able to figure out Chromia's room and do all that.
Yeah,
I think
I
it
will
was
actually say that's probably the only reason why Chrome's room was finished.
yeah, it's
Cause
because we had Shan.
yeah, and for Radiant's room, I think
That was Owen,
um
I
Owen
think.
was definitely a big one for that one.
Yeah, which kind of left you, Chris, and Asby not too much.
Yeah,
So
because
like your
we didn't really
room,
have any a dedicated person to design the rooms,
yeah, that
and we
would have
didn't
been
really have
smart
time to sit down together. And
to like
yes,
dedicate
Lay,
people.
actually,
Yeah,
yes, I was actually thinking about that. In fact, I actually contacted Luna, and I was about to talk with them, see if that was maybe something that they would be able to, but mm, stress, I forgot about it, and ended up. But yeah, I did reach out, and because I had some vague memory of them being like interior designer,
yeah, they helped
so
Tenno like do some stuff, and Tenno still owes her money.
yeah, so that was something that actually I did have in mind. And for the next event that we do for stuff like that, yes, we are definitely gonna look into having a proper official interior designer who can help out.
Yeah, that'll be
Another
very
thing we have
useful.
learned.
Exactly.
Yes, that is
It's a
going to
learning
be
experience.
so useful.
Get get the
Um,
world done beforehand, and get people to like dedicate specific assets
yeah. Oh yeah,
to
Owen
big
did the
things.
comfy room as well.
That's oh that one up there, right?
That
Yeah.
I feel a bit bad about that room because it doesn't really get used. It's kind of just like,
Well, I've seen
oh,
some.
from the
I scroll through
side.
VR chat pictures. People like to hide in the little fort, but other than that, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
the fort is the one thing that I've seen people use as well.
bit dark.
A project timeline could definitely also be useful.
Yeah, but yeah,
Um,
this here is the original layout. So like you can see that big
oh
pool area wasn't even there at the beginning.
yeah, it's kind of
And
hard to see the. Do
yeah,
we have another version of that?
uh, yeah,
See.
so like you can see at some point we just decided to stick Asby in the attic. because
But
I don't know
I
what the
do.
decision for that was. I wasn't there at the time.
Here, I'll send you another image.
But yeah, the
This
rooms
is
we
this
had.
is the later one. I think this is like the last version before we completely changed it up into what we have now.
Yeah, I was gonna use that one, but it didn't show off the rest of the house, so there was no like point of reference. But yeah,
Okay.
with point of reference now, that's how it was going to be originally.
Yeah. So what ended up happening is the part Chromius and my room plus half of Chris and half of Albie's room, that part actually got like dragged out to the your guys' right a little bit. So it's a little bit off scale from the rest of the other two sections. That was just to give more room to make it more like equal amount of like space for each room. Which, to be fair, those rooms are still pretty big. They could have been smaller,
Yeah, I like
and
how you're like,
that's also
oh,
something
we
you
need to
learn.
give more room for the bedrooms. As one of the main complaints you have is the house is too big,
Yeah.
so that was just making it bigger. Um,
Um.
but yeah, I think it what turned out I think was all right. Sticking Asby in the attic was funny. His room
Yeah.
is very empty though. It's just two things.
Yeah.
It's a race car bed and a racing rig, and that's it.
Yep.
Which was funny. I mean, to be fair, your room was just boxes until I don't know who it was decided to put a bunch of Pokemon cards, and Chris's
That
room
was
was
Chris.
her desk and some Yule scum.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
at some
I
point,
will
do you?
add
Yeah,
a lot of people had a misconception that we would design our own rooms, and I guess kind of makes
yeah,
sense.
that
But
was
Chromia didn't design her room. Radiant didn't design her room. Chris wasn't supposed to design her own room, and same as I and as we weren't supposed to design our own room. So because we didn't have like
yeah. We
anyone
never.
officially working on them, it never got around to it.
That's the problem.
And
Is we didn't
Chris, in particular,
designate
the
it.
reason why I'm specifying Chris is because they were working on a lot of other assets. They were um, cleaning up assets and like preparing them to make him basically drag and drop.
Yeah,
My pad went out and it was like 4 hours of work and plus from, oh yeah,
yeah, that
yeah,
happened. Well, that happened again at a later date, which we can talk about
yep,
again.
yep.
Um, but yeah, do you know if do you have any plans of ever finishing? Like, do we know if we're ever gonna put stuff in Chris's and yours and Asby's room?
I don't really
Because
know, to be completely honest, because
yeah, I assume we're not gonna use this map again next year. We'll use an altered version of stuff.
it's
Like,
definitely gonna
we don't
be
know.
changed up, but we're going to reuse the assets. We're not making things from like we're making it,
Yeah,
everything.
we're not
We
making the
will
house
be
from scratch
reusing it,
again.
but it's going to be different. The house is, I can closely to guarantee the house is going to become smaller.
Yeah. So it'll we're
I
gonna take
really
it
want
and
it
we're
to
gonna
feel like a
modify it,
proper home and not a ski resort.
remix it into what we want. Um,
And yes, the thing is like um everything that we have now, last year's like Christmas the marketplace world, that wasn't really made like as an asset pack. the actual like booths, they were made as assets packs, so they can be reused. But the city itself, that was just one thing. The difference this time is that the entire environment is completely like we have full control. We can change textures, we can adjust UVs, everything is editable, and we can make any kind of changes we want now. So it is a lot easier to change things around.
Yeah.
And
Which
even
is
making
much
a summer version is completely doable. It's technically speaking, it's changing one texture to make it a summer version. Basically, changing the snow to like moss. It wouldn't look the
Oh,
best, but it
yeah, that would be ugly.
technically works.
I don't want to walk around a mossy world. I live in a
You can
swamp
make it to
already,
grass as
please.
well. You can change the snow to any texture really, and have the
Yeah,
same this like style except a different texture.
yeah, you could turn that into a lake. That's also a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're I assume, yeah, we'll reuse this in some way, shape, or form next year.
Yeah.
Whether it's remixed, whether it's
Absolutely.
small, made smaller, however. This won't be the last you'll see of this.
Yeah. I will say, however, I am not going to promise or guarantee that our rooms will be finished. The house is probably not gonna get finished before we like change it up, because there's no point in it
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
It's
it wouldn't
better
make
to
sense
save
to.
that. Okay, two things. First off, because I've been waiting to, I've been saying this, similar to the
Mhm.
2020 Cabin World, this main room and like the kitchen, for example, stuff like that, they were actually supposed to be sets that would be basically ripped from or like cut out from this world and used for the finale. And that is also part of why the finale kind of relied on this being finished.
Yeah,
So that was a big
the in,
thing.
the initial idea. If we really want to go into that, the finale would
Yeah,
be a
before we go into
no.
the finale, it was
Okay.
just another thing then. Snowmobiles. They
Yeah.
were not intended to be a thing at all. That was just kind of like a side tangent that I got started on. And I will say, I am very, very happy that we got that, because they
Yeah.
ended up being very fun and a lot of people enjoyed them. It was like, it definitely made the map a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah, I remember seeing pictures, I think, after the first day of Luna VR, just like driving them around on the roof and like inside and all these crazy places, and
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah,
people having fun
that
with
in
that.
particular, I think that was from the last night they were broken. And after stream, I was like, I stayed in VR because I was doing some testing to really make them work. And at one point, I just turned up all the values for fun. So they were super fast and scuffed as all hell. And that was fun.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the best nights during the entire Christmas event. I had so much fun.
Yeah. I think a lot of people did with those. Did the and even the chainsaw of like you
Oh
can still
yeah.
like that was one of the first things I remember you adding to the map. Like when it was just still in like Blender and shit, was the chainsaw that you can zip around on the
Oh no,
lake.
the original chainsaw, that was actually part of what he gave us. That was part
Oh,
of
I
like
didn't know that.
the base map. I didn't make that.
Okay, then yeah, I forget their name. Whoever made the map
Harry.
name Harry. Yeah, they added the chainsaw, and I know a lot of people had fun with that, which later led to
Yeah.
chopping down the
I
tree,
s-
which wasn't initially a thing.
yeah, that was, it was an idea that was mentioned, but it never really got to it. After I learned how the snowmobiles work, because the snowmobiles, that was like the first proper time that I used like Euron Sharp specifically and like programmed in it. I've done like small stuff before, and yes, because I know Owen will point out. Yes, I used ChatGPT to learn how to use Euron Sharp. Um, that actually understanding how it works properly and how to use it, stuff like that, it made things so much easier. Um, so once I understood like how I put it out, you did before, yeah. I'm clearing myself before. Um, but yeah, understanding how the snowmobiles worked and all that, it made it so much easier to make the script to make it so you can cut the tree down. Because previously, I
Mm.
have done similar stuff in Euron Graph, but it's so much messier, so much more difficult. But using it or making it with Euron Sharp is like so much easier. I don't think I'm ever going back to Graph. It's such a like so much clearer, so much easier, simpler. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, finale.
The finale. The finale that you got was not originally the finale that we were planning.
Yeah,
The original idea for the finale, me and Roggy kind of came up with it parallel, I guess, at certain points, of what if we did a telethon style,
it was partially also a homage to the 2020. What I
Yeah,
wanted the 2020 finale to be like, because a
okay.
Christmas tradition here in Sweden is on the 23rd, the day before we celebrate Christmas, there is a big lottery on the television that goes on for like 8 hours. It's a Swedish tradition to sit up with the whole family. It starts at like 7 p.m. and ends at like 1 or 2 a.m., something like that. I don't really know. Um, but that is basically a telethon style ish, except it's a lottery. It doesn't go to charity,
Yeah.
really. But that was something that I like. That is basically what inspired the 2020 event to begin with. I wanted to.
Mm.
I enjoyed that so much, and I wanted to share it. So this finale was that. That was kind of where the talks started, I think, and then Rogging, you started talking about the telephone, like changing
Yeah,
the
as,
direction a
like,
bit.
getting people to call in and or call in and donate money with, like, messages or whatever, and have guests and people come on, and we do stuff, and we go to places like the dance studio and do all that, um, and all of that would have been on, like, what you said earlier of, like, little sets, and that's what, if Ben can put on the 2 first images, either or, of, like, the original idea of we have little sets and we can go from one to another. And there was a specific
Yeah,
room, I don't know if it was exactly the fireside chat, but there was, like, a set that you wanted that was set up in a certain way
the
like that
fireside chat
show.
was one of them.
Yeah, that was one of them. And there was little things, like little areas that we would go to where we would sit down and talk with guests, or I don't have the
Yeah.
I couldn't find them, but you posted images of, like, from that event. It might have just been video, of that
No, I
Swedish
have
thing.
some images saved locally that I can show afterwards.
Yeah, and those were, like, the original idea of we have our little area, we can do all that, and we can have our guests, and we can go from area to area, and that's why we really need, like, a studio would be really
Yeah,
useful, and
it's
I'm
in the
and
works.
and it's in the works. So, we'll have a world where we can just put the camera somewhere, do all that, and it'll be great, especially for a lot of the stuff that we wanna do this year. We got stuff in the works. We got stuff planned. Um, that hope you'll excited. I will say I am gonna miss the brick. Rami as the brick. Was a lot of
We can make some
good
references or
memories.
bring that back some in some
We better
forms.
because I love that brick. But yeah, this was just a very early sketch that Shiro made for an idea that again never came to fruition because everything kind of got in the way. Things didn't turn out the way we wanted. Uh, especially for our schedule. If we want to, I mean, do you want to talk about like the original schedule, the original plans for everything?
Yeah. You can put that up.
Yeah. So the schedule that we had looked very different, or not very different, but pretty different to what we got. And brick. We were what you're gonna see is like the amount of
Yeah,
work
the chipper
and
is
the
gonna have to
ideas
work
of stuff
overtime.
that we had. And I took the screenshot that I did, like in that that meeting that some of us had where you were like, I don't think we're gonna be able to do a finale. Otherwise, we're gonna have to change a bunch of stuff around. It was like a couple days after the original start. I knew that this was gonna be deleted, so I took a screenshot real quick. So you can see like the 2 days or the 2 or 3 days that we didn't do those days. They didn't
Yep.
happen. So you can see like the original plan was we start on the 1st, we go to the 12th, I believe, the 13th, and then we have a couple days and then a 3-day finale. So the original plan for the finale was over 3 days. And it got shortened to one longer day. And yeah, that's the other thing. Originally the plan was you were going to do desktop games afterwards.
Yep.
But every single day we started late and we went long, so just no desktop games ever happened.
Yep.
Because again, like even the first day, if those of you who remember, even like East Coast boys, day one didn't start until day two technically, because the world wasn't done. There were little last minutes additions being done. I guess. I mean, if we can read, I'll read it out. If you want to explain anything, Todd, you can. So day one, December 1st, was originally the Spirit of Christmas Day, the intro day. Uh, which was, I mean, that kind of happened. That was just you introducing the world. It just was very late because the world wasn't
Yeah.
done. Do you know do you remember what exactly still wasn't done by the time day we went live for the first day?
Um, I think we literally only had this room done at that point. But like we didn't have Radiant's. No, we did have Radiant and Chromia's room.
Yeah,
Was
I won't go
anything else
into.
added after that? I don't think there was. I don't think we
I
never ever actually properly expanded or decorated anymore. Because I do. Um.
And yeah, I won't go too into detail about the days we didn't do it. Don't worry.
Yeah. I've already been transparent about the like some of the stuff, which is why I was fine with showing this.
Yeah, I asked Todd to make sure that. Do you want to talk
Yeah.
about the days that we didn't do? Because we can still do them, and we probably will. So if there's anything in here that what didn't happen, you don't got to be
Yeah.
too sad because it'll probably happen in the future.
It might happen in a different format or like in a different way, but the ideas are not like gone forever.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna use because I mean we were going to use them and then we couldn't. We still want to use them. We still want to do them. It'll just be in a different
Yeah.
format or a different way. But yeah, and then yeah, you were gonna do Pokemon Coliseum, but never got around to desktop stuff, sadly. Are you still gonna? Do you think you're
Yeah,
still gonna play it at some point then?
I'm definitely still gonna play them because those games are games that I've been wanting to play on Steam for so long. And
Yeah,
personally, I think they are some of the, if not the most underrated Pokemon games. I think they are better than Pokemon Mr. Dungeon, and I think they're better than Pokemon Ranger, which are usually the other two
yeah. It's
more like underrated
yeah.
ones.
I'd say it's definitely better than Ranger. As somebody who played Ranger, it was not the greatest. Uh,
Personally,
but yeah.
I think personally Pokemon XD is better than Pokemon Colosseum, but that's more a
Mm,
personal preference and story.
I haven't played either, so I can't really judge. But I'd be, I'd be interested in
Actually,
seeing.
CS.
Oh,
I might actually play the original ones from a GameCube because my friend has my old GameCube and my old Colosseum and XD. So I might actually do it because I've been meaning to get
oh,
a uh, capture card or something like that for a while. So we'll
well,
see.
and I take it those will just be normal streams, not on like big event stuff. It'll just be like,
Yes,
oh, I
they
want to
would be
play some
normal
desktop.
streams.
Okay, yeah, then you got that to look forward to.
Thank you so much. This is exactly
Day
what I
two,
wanted.
December 2nd was originally going to be the 12 Days of Christmas, the scavenger hunt. Did that happen? I was kind of
Um,
unconscious for some of stuff. I'm not quite sure happened when I
Scavenger
wasn't there.
Hunt. Scavenger Hunt was meant to be on the 2nd originally, I believe. Yeah, but that was actually moved all the way
Yeah.
down to the 12th because it
Yeah, I
was,
forgot about
12
that.
days of Christmas. Felt more fitting, but yeah.
Yeah, that
Um,
one got moved
I'm a
to
little
where?
bit, I'm a little bit sad with this year's Scavenger Hunt because last year we tried to make it so that there was one obvious easy option and one more obscure option that was like we intentionally made these ways that you could take these pictures. This year we only had the obvious ones, and some of them were kind of like very, very meh.
And
Like
yeah,
the
this
free mods podcasting or four mods podcasting, they were just kind of dragged and dropped into the world. Nothing else, no fun behind them or anything. So,
yeah, and that goes to us not having the world ready. We can't add these
yep,
scavenger hunt stuff if the world isn't done, if the world isn't finalized. And that's also why it got moved from the second day of the event all the way to the 12th. So that at the
yeah,
very least we can try to put stuff where they need to be.
yeah. Um,
Yeah. So a bit lackluster of what originally was wanted, but again, it was last minute stuff with the world. Do you want to say something?
no, I was gonna say something about the fire, but it's not really part of the event, so I'll save that for
No.
after.
All right. What was day 3 was a snowed in day. You were, I mean, that you can just that was the Discord days, right? Where you were just gonna do stuff in Discord. I don't think there was too much
Yeah,
happening there. I
Discord
mean, if
challenges and stuff like that.
yeah, I mean, we can talk about like the fries again. It wasn't the fries versus Mimi's, right?
Yeah, that is kind
Like
of
that
how
whole
like
thing.
the whole idea was that it would be a story that would develop over time, but people took it death serious as if it was fries versus memes. But that was never the actual
Yeah,
intention. The intention was always the community versus ModCorp, basically.
I was trying to tell you that like people are going to pick sides and are going to be intense about it. Like with Camp Neko, people chose a team and they were ride or die for it, and so
Yeah,
a lot of
that
people
I
got really
fucking
into it.
loved that. But
Yeah, but that was also 4 different teams, so
obviously
it was
things
spread
were
out.
scuffed with this Christmas event, but the summer event, that's like the best type of like community
Yeah, that one was fun.
challenge fighting we've
But
ever.
yeah,
I
I
love
think
everything about it.
trying to tell a story with it, I think, is kind of where it got a little scuffed, where you were trying to say, okay, it's you two are fighting, but you're not actually fighting. You're really fighting against ModCorp. But people didn't figure that out. People didn't see it
Yeah,
that way for a while until like the very end. I think
yeah,
when
and
you had to make it very obvious.
I will say some people take it a bit too seriously. Just like nobody likes a
Yeah,
sore loser. That's me. I'm the sore loser. People don't like
they don't like a
tryhards
sore winner.
either.
Uh, yeah, I think it also it was like a weekend at camp. We're having fun. We're choosing our teams, and this was just kind of you've been assigned a chip or you've been assigned a Mimi or a Fry. There's no
Yeah,
real story to that. And then there was like infighting and people there was like bribes or something. I think Chris posted an ass pic, and then people were like talking between teams, like men on the
yeah.
inside, and that
To
all of
think
that
that
was
Chris's ass is what broke everything.
Chris's ass
It's kind
broke
of
the
funny.
internet. You heard it here first. Um, but yeah, it it could probably be done better next time.
Yeah.
But
Again,
yeah,
it's a learning experience, but I will also definitely say that the amount of stress and just like scrambling to get things together, that definitely played its part as well.
yeah, and it didn't help that two big key players, like Owen was saying, he lost power, and Raspy was, I think, away visiting family.
Yeah.
So uh,
And
there
a lot of
wasn't
poor
too
timing.
much. Yeah, that was just poor time. Not really too much you could do about that. Um, the day after that, Christmas on Twitch, the TOS day. I don't know how much you want to say about that. I'll leave that.
I
It was a
I
day that we got rid of.
I don't think we're going to come back to that in its current form because it wasn't like a fully realized. It was kind of like a vague idea
Yeah,
that started off from what Tomb said, and then it changed into something else, and then that changed into something else. So it was
well,
never like properly realized.
yeah.
And
I don't know. I thought I said it, but I know that someone else also said. I know Tomb said something, and it was a bunch of people together. I remember talking
yeah,
with Drax about the idea of like Groundhog's Day and Truman Show if they were like combined into a Twitch stream.
yeah, yeah, what Rasty said.
And one during
I
the
think
summer
it
event
was
and one
Tomb who
after. Okay,
mentioned it during this
he
Christmas, and
mentioned
that
it.
kind of sparked the idea back up. But I do
Yeah,
remember, yeah,
and so that was it. It was kind of like that happened. Like that's an idea, but then nothing really came from it.
basically,
We couldn't
yeah. Again,
figure it
we're
all
not
out.
going to come back to. I can guarantee we're not going to come back to this idea in its current form. So I'm fine with explaining it in detail. Basically, the idea was that we would go to somewhere else. We were thinking of using merger or blackout, and the idea was that I would basically try to not get banned. So if you remember during the finale, we had videos of a Mudcorp person sitting down and talking to you, saying like, "Yeah, so
So
you
what
got banned
happened?
again." Yeah, stuff like that, and that was part of that. And some of the skits, like
The Breaking Bad,
"You shall
the
not,"
Avatar,
Breaking Bad, Lord of the Rings, and what was that one? It was three.
the Avatar, and my
Avatar.
girlfriend turned into the moon.
Yeah. So those three skits that you saw during the finale, that was part of that because, oh, don't show or stream movies or stuff like that. That was like one of the TOS things that I would break, basically.
Yeah,
And the idea was basically like, with chat's help, we would repeat the day until I was able to get through it without getting banned again.
Yeah. We couldn't figure it out, like, how to do it, and not too much came from it. It was one of the days that was
Yeah,
like, if we get rid of it, we don't really have it all planned out, which is why it was scrapped.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, that was that day. I it Something might come from it, but in its current form, like Todd said, it didn't work
we
out.
might reuse parts of it, or who knows, maybe come back to a more groundhog's type of thing. We don't really know. The idea might come back, but we're not going to go for this format.
Yeah. But after that was, I think, one of the only days that stayed more or less the exact same, and that was the modcast.
Yeah,
It
the
it
modcast was
it worked
handled
out well,
like,
right?
mm, yeah, that was more or less handled like completely separately.
Yeah,
So
that
it
was
wasn't like
the
really,
mods.
yeah, that's never really been much of a event team thing. That's been more of a mod thing. So it wasn't really affected by scribbling to get things done, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, it went well. It was really fun. Um,
Yeah, that one had to stay the same. It had to stay on, like, the same day because a lot of people I know took days off from
yeah,
work to be there, a lot of your mods. I think the only thing that might
yeah,
have changed was, oh, what if we have it start with, like, unscripted toast, and then the mod corp takes over? Like, what is this? And throw me out and that. So other than that, I think that day stayed more or less the same.
yeah.
Uh the Fry Jingle Jam, the Fry contest. So remember how many
I feel
times Owen's
really
power
bad
went
about
out?
that one. Yeah.
He was supposed to be one of the people in the chairs there. It was supposed
Yep.
to be him, Flops, and Chris as the I guess, were they Mod Corp represented? What were they exactly?
Yeah, more corporate representatives or hired or something like that.
Yeah, so he was originally gonna be in that position, but yeah, like 2 hours before you were supposed to go live, his power went out, and there was a scramble of who wants to fill that position? I luckily had a suit made for me, like, a day before, and so I was like, "I'll do it," and so I just kind of was thrown into there. Um, it was also the first time we had, like, images submitted because we didn't get too many. I mean, is that something you wanna talk about? We didn't get too many submissions for
Yeah,
actual
like
fries?
yeah, I kind of already talked about it on stream and my promise to have
Okay,
like the community made one, the new one. So yeah,
okay.
that's fine.
Yeah, so we didn't get too many actual submissions, so we put in for art as well, which I think, given the ones that we got, I think was funny. Like, we were able to turn it into
Yeah,
something. But
it's also
yeah,
fun
for
to just
2.
experiment, try new things. And yes,
Yeah,
that as well. That is something we realized, and that is also part of why I said that at the end when I was talking about the idea of making a new fry. Um, this year, most of the, but maybe I shouldn't say most, but a lot of the people who have created fry models before or fry avatars before, they are part on the event team now, and
yeah,
it
you
wasn't
look at
really stated that they can't participate, but it was more like kind of like an undertone, like, yeah, maybe it doesn't
yeah.
isn't the
The
best. So
unfair advantage of, like,
yeah,
behind the scenes.
yeah. For the future though, that's not really gonna be a thing. We're gonna, since one of the main priority right now for future content creation and for like community event stuff, getting that reusable studio up and running, that's priority one. And that studio will be able to be used for fry contest stuff, for example. So in the future, everyone will be able to participate.
Yes. Which should have more submissions in for that next contest. But
We're
like
also
CS was
gonna,
saying, we got a lot of
yeah,
people. Oh, that person's good at modeling. We should help. Maybe we should get them to help us. Not the Sean and Kitten and Wickers people we brought on who would
yeah.
probably make a fry. Who just they're on the team now. Kiritsu.
We're also
Uh,
gonna definitely start, like, kind of like I mentioned there at the end again when I was talking about the new fry idea. Seeing all these like DMCs and not really knowing with certainty what the cause is or how things are, it's very, very demotivating, and it kind of makes me not really want to um promote fries too much, because I don't want people to make a fry and then have it DMCA'd. No guarantee that it will
yeah,
happen, but if it happens, like, that feels real fucking bad.
yeah.
So
It
it's hard
sucks.
for me, like, as you know, as part of running the community, basically. I love the fries. I love what they mean for the community. I love what they are in the community. But not really being able to like properly, you know, do stuff, promote them and all that, it sucks.
Guzon and
So
I have come home from Sonic 3 and I have an announcement.
But in the
Shadow,
future, with
the
the new
hedgehog
fry
is a bitch
base,
ass
should be
motherfucker.
solved,
He
right?
pissed on my fucking wife. That's right. He took his hedgehog fucking quilly dick out and he pissed on my fucking wife.
You look
And he
confused.
said his dick was this big.
10 year. What?
Emma
Oh.
Manorzamas. Oh, chasse parasite. Amantayamita Das satz dies genoas. Disgusting. So I'm making a call out post on my Twitter comp. Shadow the Hedgehog. You've got a small dick. It's the size of this walnut, except way smaller.
What?
Do you not know
Okay.
that? Yeah,
Okay, what? I
the Eggman script.
Uh-huh.
You said it was this
No, I
big,
have
and I
not
said
seen
that's
any of those.
disgusting. So I'm making a call out post on my twitter.com. Anyway, yeah, with the new fry,
Ooh, a new user!
it'll
We're gonna have
turn out
so
well.
much fun!
I miss my wife tails. Yeah.
The-
Any more you want to say about like the fry contest? Oh, after that was in this world the Squid Games stuff.
Oh, yeah, it was 2 parts of it.
Yeah, I forgot about it as well.
Yeah, the original Squid Games idea, that's also something that we will probably come back to, so I don't know how much we should explain about the original idea, but
Okay.
what ended up being done on stream, it did not do the idea justice, I think, because that is a very, very cool idea. And Squid Games, I guess, that's kind of just the internal name we gave it, basically.
Yeah, because it was the cookie drawing thing, like the cutting out
Yeah.
cookie. That's the only reason,
That
I
is
believe.
definitely something we're gonna come back to, because it's a very, very simple and logistically, I would say, easy idea to like pull off.
Yeah, it could turn out well if done correctly. It's just about
Yeah.
figuring out how to do it correctly and how we want to go about it. So that was just like a little taste of what we were gonna do. After that though, was the original plan was the game show day. That was
Yep.
a lot of unfortunate circumstances with that are out of anyone's control.
I will say, that day was the most scuffed day out of all of them, but at the
Mhm.
same time, it was personally one of my favorites. I had so much fun. I enjoyed every single bit of it. And with that said, huge fucking shout out to V-Stray, to Neko, Ratchet, everyone.
The fuck, what were their names? The I wanna thank the people that showed up. Sleepy, I think was one of them. Their names? Uh,
Drax, do you,
Drax was
or
part of
Neko
it.
if you're here,
Who
if you
was
remember the names? Club?
no, not Glub. Glub is orange hair. The people that filled in for Grob. Yeah.
Chestix and Grubus. Grob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They filled in very last minute for
Yeah.
some of them who were too sick to show up. They weren't feeling well enough, and we don't want to force people to, like, if they're feeling unwell, to get in VR and try to be funny on the internet for people. So
Yeah.
those two were lifesavers for the V-Stray side of it. We got all the only Nekos though, which was nice. I
Kind of
definitely
surprised
wasn't
they did that.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't asleep by the time that y'all showed up in world because I had been waiting so long.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, oh, when are they starting? When are they gonna show up? I'm sitting here at the desk waiting for them to be here. Yeah, those two. Get some love for them because they showed up last minute for us to have full teams for at least the game show in game, the Family Feud, which I think turned out well. We got a lovely sticker made from it in your
Yep.
channel
Mm-hmm.
from Radiant. Those of you who know,
Yep.
um, but it was fun. I had fun with that. And then
Yeah.
how was the desktop portion of it with Staffy was able to show up for that, and Roggy was hosting.
Yeah. Um, I mean, it was scuffed to say the least. We didn't really have we didn't properly test it rather with that many people because I guess kind of just didn't
Yeah.
expect it to be that like resource intensive to have that many people like sharing stuff like that. But yeah,
I remember being in the Discord and at least Chris being like, "Hey, should we test this? Should we test to make sure that like everyone's got everything set up properly?" And not too much
yeah,
coming from
it,
that, and then I found out at the time.
yeah. In my opinion, it turned out fine. I enjoyed it. I had a
Yeah,
fucking
as long as
blast. I
as
haven't
long as
had
the
a
chat
single
enjoyed it.
like yeah. And to be fair, it seemed like it did. I think having the shared chat all that was like it definitely added to the chaos and there's like a lot of energy going on. And I think it was great.
Yeah, keeping it amped up is good because it hopefully keeps
Yeah.
people engaged. But yeah, having some of the people being unwell, and it got a bit too late because we started very late for Mrs., so he wasn't able to show up. Um,
Yeah.
Sadly, it worked well for what we had.
And thank God
Um,
for having that world available, which shows how much we probably would utilize
yeah, if we had a set
that.
that we can put all this stuff in, we could have a
Yeah.
actual podcast set.
Yep.
That'd be great.
Seeing butts fight, yeah.
2025. 2025, we'll have it.
Yeah,
Don't you worry.
I want to say one more time, it was like the most scuffed day out of all of them, but it was also, in my opinion, one of the most fun days personally. I had so much fun. I was just enjoying it.
That's good. I'm glad you were able to have some fun because I was stressed the fuck out that day. 'Cause I was hosting it.
Oh yeah. That
Go.
is when I made that picture of like Nadaro
Oh yeah,
face.
Nagatoro. What the fuck did you
Nagatoro.
just say? Nagaro?
Natur? I don't know.
Naturo.
Nagatoro.
Who the? Yeah, definitely a
I don't
Nagatoro-esque
know.
face.
Yeah.
Funny meme. Good job.
The reason why I think that is Kiritsu is because those collab days in particular, people don't watch those for the quality of the production. People watch those for the interaction between the people. So no matter how scuffed it is, as long as the people's interactions are enjoyable to watch, that's all that matters. And that is like why I was not nervous at all, why I wasn't stressed at all. Because
People also.
I've had nothing but good experiences with them. I love the people in Maestria. I think they're awesome.
Yeah. People also love to see a good shit show. Like
Yeah,
trash
that as
television
well.
has been a thing for a long time. And that is our equivalent of trash TV. But yeah, after that was Seasons Eating, the cooking day. Which I don't know if there was
What
too
the
much scuff
fuck
that
is
day.
a nog?
Yeah, that. By the way, another thing, I wasn't supposed to be there that day initially, or I was very briefly. I was supposed to be like a Gordon Ramsay type character. That's what Raspy was
Oh
telling me.
yeah.
That's not how it turned
Yeah.
out. Uh, I
Yeah.
don't
So
know.
originally Owen was supposed to be kind of like the apprentice, like newbie learning kind of, and the dummy. And Moshi was supposed to be Gordon Ramsay, like
Was not
judging,
expressed
being
to me.
a harsh critic. But the roles swapped real quick.
Yeah, I don't know shit about food, but I think it turned out well. That whole section there by the end, uh, and then you as the diner. Oh, I didn't even know that you were gonna be the diner. Again, this was all
That
like all I was really told was, do you want to be a Gordon Ramsay type character who like gets mad but doesn't like shit on it? It's just like, oh, this is how you're supposed to do it. And then I was
I'll
like,
be completely
okay, I can
honest.
do that.
I did not even know about the diner part.
Yeah.
So
Apparently neither of us knew. Um, it turned out well. We got real tired because there was a lot of watching food video. Initially,
yeah.
just the two of us, and the chefs come in and show you the dish they made. That was not. I don't feel like I was expressed that recipe.
I will say as much as I enjoy watching videos like that, I don't know. Yeah, going from like the high octane scuff day, high energy day to like watching movies. I guess it balances things out. You have a high energy day, a low energy day to relax a bit, so you can so you don't
Yeah,
overwork yourself basically. So in that sense, it makes sense. But
but from a viewer perspective, it
yeah,
was
it
again
was it
nothing wrong with the videos that were sent in, but
yeah.
like
It's a
Owen's
type of
again,
content.
that was another thing that was hampered by Owen not having power for a bit. Uh,
Yeah,
he had to go to his brother's place, his brother or sister, one of them.
yeah.
And so that video was filmed there kind of very last minute with minimal editing because he didn't have editing software to really do too much. Uh so like hearing Owen's brother like just explain stuff, and Neko's video being very ASMR like. It was
Yeah.
very like comfy. It wasn't really too much that
Yeah.
you could react to, which isn't a bad thing because it was still enjoyable to watch. Oh,
Yeah.
Rips was very entertaining though. A lot of good quality in there. Kuzan and
Why would you
Toons
throw that at a cat on
was
the
fun.
internet?
Yeah. The shenanigans.
Yeah, they're shenanigans. Um, I'm trying to think, but yeah, after that, looking at the photos, by that point, we had become a bit loopy, and that caused
Yeah.
the infamous eggnog incident, which was
Eggnog and
fun.
horse.
Yeah, so that was fun. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah. Personally, I really enjoy just going through like community submissions and seeing what people make, what people eat, their traditions, stuff like that. I still keep an eye on the channel. If people like submit new stuff, I think they're still open.
Yeah,
Um,
it'd be nice to see that stuff. It's
yeah,
interesting to learn
I
about
think
a
it's just
different
very
culture.
interesting seeing how
Uh,
different things are.
yeah, the world isn't just America. What? This is news to me.
Hi, Tap.
Um, Tap, hello. Tap was very. I don't. Tap was doing stuff that I didn't understand. If you want to explain how Tap helped out,
Um, he's probably helped out in every single way. He has had a hand in practically everything, in one way or another. Like he has
hmm,
been, I think, not to put things on a pedestal, but the thing with Tap in particular is that he was fixing things, making things, and working on things that realistically nobody else could. If he was not available for those things, they would have simply just not existed.
yeah.
So that's why kind
This
of his case is a bit different.
this event would look and feel very different if it wasn't for him.
Yeah. I am the
So
one who
thank you,
jerry
Tap.
rigs. We love jerry rigging here. We love duct tape.
Duct tape and WD-40. Thank you. Let's get some love for Tap, chat, because
Yeah.
genuinely could not do it without him. That him and
Yeah.
like the
And the thing is, this is not the first time either. He was
I was
equally
gonna say,
important for last year's Dollhouse as well.
yeah,
Like
he
he
was
is,
very helpful for Dollhouse.
yeah, he's like one of the like base pillars for Christmas events. It kind of feels like he does
Tap,
so much.
Tap, and Live Dimensions. Like those two
Yeah,
people are like the behind the scenes of stuff I can't even begin to understand. But I know that without them, we would not be where we are right now.
yeah. That was kind of what I wanted to talk about with the fireplace.
Go ahead.
Here, let me bring back the camera.
Oh, you can hide the
So this
thing for a bit.
fireplace, yeah, the system is technically all still here. I removed the fuel, so you can't really do anything with it. Yeah,
Hmm.
the original idea was to make it so that in the world, this fire, or rather, the amount that the fireplace is burning, would be synced between multiple instances. So if you are in one instance, you would see the same amount of fire as someone else who is in a different. I don't know what the. Why did it become so small? 1 second. My chat got super small.
It gets like that after a while, you know? It can't always be big.
um, there was supposed to be basically like fuel that you could pick up.
Yeah, you could throw logs
Right
in.
here. Yeah, you could throw logs in and it would keep the fire going. it was partially inspired by that world that was like, this world will be deleted in 24 hours if nobody clicks the button or something like that.
Yeah.
It was partially inspired by that idea, but we didn't want it to like permanently go out. It would be possible to like get it going again. We never really got around to it properly. There was some stuff missing, and yeah, the audio bug, I think that is fixed. I think it had to do with a missing specialization VSC thing that you put on it. I had accidentally removed it.
But yeah, it was and that was Tap that like figured that shit out or tried to. I don't.
He was working on the like cross instance system. Live Dimensions is the one who made the actual like
Okay.
in world Udon stuff setup. He prepared all of that.
Yeah, and there was something with audio. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
the audio
missed
thing
that
was
part.
live. Yeah.
Okay.
Um. Yeah, Tap helped figure out the snow on the trees. Kitten did also help out a little bit with that. We ended up basically, or correction, Tap ended up basically rewriting, I think 3 or 4 shaders.
Oh.
And he spent a lot of time on that and made sure that originally they did 3 of them, if I remember correctly. Yeah, okay. So originally they did not work with real-time lights. So the snowplow, for example, if that spun, it would create a big ass square that broken lighting. Or if you have like light on a avatar, it would basically fuck up the entire world, just make everything super fucking bright. He fixed that. And that is something that none of us really could do.
So thank you, Tap.
Yeah.
Doing the good Lord's work.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we want to go back to the days, the
Yeah.
Santa's Little Helper Discord day 2. Was that more of the just Discord day, just stuff happening in Discord?
I do believe so, yeah.
Yeah, we just kind of got rid of it. Again, the 2 Discord days we just
They
we
were
were
kind of baked
already
into other days because they were mainly just, they weren't really streamed content, so they were easy to just, we removed them as a day and just incorporate it in other ways during other days.
yeah, because we were already behind a couple days, so we needed to get rid of some stuff. And after that was a plumber Christmas party. It was Mario Party. Again, this is
Yeah.
one I don't know how much you want to talk about for this because this is
Yeah.
a
This one is
thing.
probably gonna be very, very, very vague because it is a very cool idea. We've already discussed. In fact, I will say we did for a brief time talk about potentially doing that day as a sort of extra thing on the 20th
Yeah.
after
you
all the
so
event was
much.
done and over,
This is
because we
exactly
liked the
what I
idea so
wanted.
much. It is not Mario Party, but it is Mario Party. That's
Yes.
really as much as we can say. It was reliant on the house. It was reliant on the
Yeah.
world. And that is why
Another
it
thing
didn't
that
happen.
yeah,
It,
we
it,
needed the house
it
and the world
required
to
a
do it.
certain amount of setup.
So again, that 99% sure it's gonna happen, just not right now, but in the future.
Yeah.
This
Legally, it is
idea will
not Mario
come to
Party.
fruition.
No, it's not Mario Party. It's a Christmas plumber party. Very different.
Yeah, you not read it? A plumber Christmas party. There's nothing about any brothers.
Yeah.
But yeah, so expect that at some point. The Wish Upon a Tot, the maid stream. Now that was going to be one day, but I believe, I mean, if you do you want to talk about why it didn't happen that first day?
I don't even remember why it didn't happen. So share.
I I believe you wanted to have an outfit done, but it wasn't
Oh, yeah,
done.
yeah, yeah. I wanted the Holly outfit.
Yeah, you wanted the
I
holiday
didn't
outfit
have that.
done,
I did
but
finish it just very, very late. And
yeah.
because it was like a very interactive day, I did not want to start super late where a lot of people might have already like gone to bed or missed out. Because it was late even for like American people at that point when it was actually done. So that's why I ended up revealing it on the intended day, but then we pushed everything else forward one step extra.
Hmm.
And Kanye's turned into just chatting. I revealed the outfit, and then we do it properly.
Yes. So that day was pushed, and again that like it was you weren't able to work on the outfit and stuff because you were working on the house for so long. In the time that you would
Yeah,
have been uh like making outfits was when you were busy making this. So it's understandable why it wasn't done. But wasn't I mean the next day, didn't you still start like really late? Like it wasn't super as late as
probably.
before, but I think
Yeah,
every
it was
single
a.
day
I was.
you started late.
Yeah, and I think that was just kind of like because of mood, kind of stress adding up.
Yeah. Which I mean after everything that had been going wrong. That makes
Yeah.
sense. So
Um,
after oh,
I will say when it comes to like those mainstream type of things, like it's something I have to work on as a content creator, I think. But
yeah. Okay.
I kind of realized it by the end of the first because the mainstream ended up being split up into 2 days basically.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't able to finish up everything, which we should know by now that no matter how hard we try, I never end up being able to finish it all in one day. It's just not a single
You
year
get
when we have done them.
very distracted is the problem.
Yeah. It-
And it doesn't help when you have a
in my
million people in the
defense,
world distracting you.
yeah, in my
Yeah.
defense, since I don't do public hangouts as much anymore, that is one of the times when people do get the chance. So I don't want to be disrespectful and like, oh, I gotta entertain chat, even though that is kind of like the point when you stream. So it's a difficult thing to balance. It was not actually because of Pokemon cards.
No, you
Um,
were fairly good on that.
the yeah, the thing with the mainstream that I realized is that those type of streams they are from the bottom up. They are streams where you make fun of yourself. You kind of make a goof out of yourself to
Yes.
give chat like it's fan service without being lewd. It's making a fool out of yourself.
You are literally the embodiment
A
of
clown.
dance monkey dance. Like you
Yes.
are at the will of
Yes.
this of the chat of the things that have been submitted, and it is your
Yeah.
job to clap when you're told to clap.
And yes, that is something that I kind of realized by the end of the first day when I was doing the like wishes, which made it easier to actually get into it on the second day. But it's something you kind of have to warm up to really get you into the mindset, at least for me, because I don't do it on that level on a daily basis. So it's not really like it's
What do
almost
you
a bit like
mean?
alcohol. Like you need it to build up the confidence, kind of.
Todd,
Has nothing to do with alcohol. Oh, that was a bad example.
you go on stream every day and make a fool of yourself. How is it any different?
It's different because when you make a fool out of yourself as a streamer, going on stream, I know it was meant as a joke, but there's some truth to it.
Yeah.
The difference is that when you go on stream, it's like going up on a stage. You go up there intentionally knowing somewhat what you're gonna do. You have an idea of what you're gonna put up for show. But when you have wishes like these, they are not your own intentions. They are not your ideas. They are requests. And it makes
Yes.
things very different from
It's
confidence and making it enjoyable.
it's scripted improv where you have to
Yeah,
improv off of something you're told.
yeah. And
Like
if it's not
here's a
something you
scenario.
usually do, yeah, if it's not something you usually do, you might not feel the most confident doing it. And that's kind of why, again, why I realized that I have to kind of like build up to get into the right mindset. And again, that made it a lot easier on the second day to really get into it and put a show on, basically. But no, I know that for the future, and I do think it's gonna help.
Hopefully it will. And hopefully we can make it last one day next time. If we do it again. Uh but yeah, so I don't know. The maid stuff, it is very much make a fool of yourself, but do it the way that I tell you to, as opposed to the way that you want to. Um, so after the maid stream was originally the fireside night, a classic comfy day. That was
Yeah,
kind of did anything come from that? I also don't remember what happened after the maid stream.
I
Like all
think
of that, it's been a
that was one
blur.
of the days that got scrapped when the wish got pushed.
Yeah,
I think
that's
that
what
was the
I'm thinking
case.
as well.
Partially also because we didn't really have anything planned. We didn't really have a clarity for it. Not that I
Yeah, it was
necessarily
just
think we would
chill.
need it per se, but out
I
of
mean,
the days that were left,
initially,
it was one of the less planned ones.
yeah, it was supposed to just kind of be comfy. Like you've been through all the days before. Here's like a little respite. Here's a little
Yeah,
like comfy break day.
yeah, the comfy day before the finale.
Which I think kind of went with the day after that initially of the Winter Wonderland wrap up was Discord and team finale. I still don't know what that was. Like what was
Uh,
that planned to be?
I think that was meant to be a. It wasn't meant to be like a full on planned out event day. It was meant to be more of a short little just wrapping up, explaining the Malcorp versus the community. It was like meant to be the finale of that stuff. Wrap all
Okay.
that up and
The
just
Discord
hang out
stuff.
a little bit with chat. Yeah, just talk a little bit. It wasn't supposed to be like a 4-hour stream.
Okay, yeah. That makes more sense then. But yeah, after that was supposed to be a big break. I don't know what merch hoodie 3D model was as well.
Yeah, that wasn't really officially like planned. It was just kind of I think that was something I worked on specifically because it is a relatively easy thing to make. It just takes a bit of time. But okay, it kind of goes back to flare on the camera again. It goes
Oh,
back to
okay.
the original idea, since this event was planned to be a throwback to the 2020 event. The original idea was that each day
Oh
for
yeah.
24 or 25 days, we would open this, and in fact, this model is actually rigged. So that's kind of why you see the lighting is a bit like you can see the squares. Those, you can actually open them. Or it's like set up and rigged so that you can. You see, it
Oh,
has
yeah, there's a
inside.
door.
Yeah. So it
I
was
didn't
actually
know that.
prepared for that. I had the script ready for it as well. That part of that script I ended up using for something else, which funnily enough also wasn't implemented. You know, great, but
Oh, yeah.
um, yeah, the original idea was that each day there would be some kind of surprise. For the days that had events planned, that's how we would reveal what kind of day it was. Oh yeah. So
Yeah, that was the
on
whole
top
thing.
of that, originally we had the plan to basically I would kind of like sit in a chair in front of a fireplace or something like that and talk, introduce the day. It's also inspired by a Swedish thing that ended up being scrapped at the same
It wasn't
time, I
it.
think.
It wasn't. I know I pitched something of like having that model over there. The thing you open the door and then like the camera zooms in to the day, like to
Yeah,
everything happening, and then that never came to fruition either, just because
I have
a lot of stuff didn't happen.
picture. So there we go. Something along the lines of this, kind of. It will basically be me opening like the first, or opening the like whatever
You got
day
a
it
big
is,
beard.
and that will be part of how each day was introduced. And we would also make it so that you could pick up this calendar in the world and open it yourself. I believe Kusan actually finished the animation for it. I don't want to say too much about that because I think it might be used for something else.
Okay.
But yeah, some of that stuff was finished. Part of the reason why me introducing the days was scrapped was because I did not really have a Christmas outfit ready until like the 29th of November or something like that. Like and this outfit is what I'm talking about, the comfy one. I didn't have that ready until like basically the days before, so I wasn't able to record anything because I did not want to record stuff in my normal outfits. I wanted to do it in a Christmas one. It wouldn't feel right otherwise. So yeah, all of those things kind of tie together. So specifically, the merch hoodie, going back to that was supposed to be one of the things that would be revealed, or like one of the surprises for the community on one of the days that there was no stream. That was the original idea. As a surprise slash gift, I still want to make that at some point basically a hoodie that you can use and put on your avatars if you want. I was thinking
Oh,
of preparing it for like Manuka base, more some, not all of them, but some of the like most common bases, stuff like that. So you could easily just set it up. It might still happen
I
in the future.
okay. Yeah, that's something that one day maybe wasn't able to get to this year, but hey, 2025 is a new year. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, after
Do
that
we have
was
any more pictures of the plans for the finale? Because yeah, that was just a break until the finale at that point.
plans for the finale.
Yeah, and
I
if we
don't.
have any, I know we showed some of the sketches for. I don't think so. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. Unless you have any, because I know that I didn't. I couldn't. I mean, there were like references, like pictures that I think Roggy sent, and I think I sent one or two photos in the meeting chat. way back when,
Um,
but I couldn't find any that showed off what I was talking about. Super secret? Yeah. Is it a secret? I mean, people know that there's like an event Discord, right?
yeah, that's
Like, I
not
don't
really
think
a
that's a
secret.
yeah. That's where else would we fucking
Um,
plan everything?
yeah, I don't think I have that much else from that.
Yeah, but like after
The
that
finale is kind of being
day, there
separated
was
more and more, so it's very. I guess okay. There's one thing that could be interesting to show, but at the same
okay.
time, um, ugh. Let me check. You can talk. I'll
Yeah,
see if I can find it.
I was just gonna say that like after those days, we had like a 4-day break between the event stream stuff and the finale because we knew that we were gonna need a lot of time to plan the finale if we wanted to do all the stuff that we had planned, which would be getting a lot of people together, having the world ready, having this again. It would have been like a whole set. I mean, my outfit. I can change into it real quick. Of the come on VR chat. You want to load? You want to not be shit? Like this outfit that I had was literally made for the finale because I looked at one of the images of the host and they had like a nice suit on, and so I wanted to be a good presenter for a telethon. It looks nice. I got a compliment for this. Thank you very much. Um, but those days kind of it got turned into one day at the end of it. We were originally supposed to have like specific guests for each day and specific interviews for each day. Have little skits, have little pre-recorded segments. There was a lot that was going into down. I don't think I have a picture, but down to Owen making like pie charts of exactly how long we need to talk for, and then promote stuff, and then like promote and then talk, and then like here's where we'll have an ad break for people. Like
Yeah, that was part
very
of.
in depth, detailed.
I didn't want to show that, but his pie charts kind of made me start on something else. Basically,
Oh,
um,
but yeah, like that's
I
how
started
in
making
depth
like a
we were doing it.
proper run. I forgot what it's called. Is it called a rundown?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Um, yeah, a rundown script, basically. Now this doesn't really show any of the details, so it's fine. There's nothing specified.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm making sure that. Here we go.
Yeah.
The fucking cursor is like offset. There we
Oh
go.
God. Yeah, I can't read shit on that.
Yeah. So this is kind of what I started on. So we would have like everything planned out. This is kind of the like the production quality that I want. The want to aim for. I want to have this one day. It's gonna take a lot of work. It's gonna take a lot of time, a lot of planning. But I really want to do a high production super high quality, that kind of stuff. Kyushi.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's what it's called. I have it written down as a rundown, but yeah, a proper. This is more than a schedule. Like you have overlay media, black fading. You have all the transitions, all the like. There's
This is like
more information to the right that I've cut off.
a whole script.
Yeah, and this is meant to be like to have a complete rundown of timing and stuff like that because we the original idea was to incorporate like a lot of content creators. When I say a lot, I mean like the original plan was to incorporate more than we've ever had before. And again, I want to
More than
do
we
this one
got.
day. That is my goal. That is like
I know
that is what I'm aiming for.
we were pretty squished together on that couch with the amount of people that we wanted to get. If again, it wouldn't all be at the same time, but with the amount of people like that, much more than what we even had.
Yeah.
As an example of we wanted a lot of people.
Yeah. I actually have a dress that I commissioned that was intended for the finale that I haven't used yet.
Oh,
So we'll see how and if
see what
that's
you can use that
incorporated
for.
somehow. Yeah.
That's gonna be weird to see you in a dress.
I don't think it would be too robotic because this is basically how they do stuff like on a
Professional.
real on a real show. So it's more about like it's something you have to practice. Like this type of event with a schedule like that, or no schedule with a cue cheat like that, you can take say hour number 3 of day 2. You can practice that hour down to the minute to have that like learned and function properly to make it feel natural and not robotic. That's the whole point and goal, is that a high production event like that, you would rehearse and practice and do stuff like that.
Yeah, I will say because I understand where people are coming from. I'm definitely somebody who I go more off of improv. Being too scripted is
Hey, don't look at my
uncomfortable.
box!
It makes me feel not
Yeah.
as loose, as not as there.
Yeah, and
But yeah,
to
knowing
be
what's
fair,
going to
that is
happen and when
something
it's going
that
to happen is
yeah,
good.
that is kind of how you can work around it. Where because again, in not again, but like in the cue sheet, we didn't really have any like dialogue planned or stuff like that, and making that type of interaction semi unscripted or impromptu, I think would work. It's again just something you have to practice, rehearse to get into, and I think we could make that work. I
Yeah,
don't
it's got to feel
necessarily think
authentic.
that is something. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the finale itself.
Yeah.
I mean, how much you want to go into like what it was originally supposed to be? I mean, I had my own
I
idea from
actually
the beginning, but what were you gonna say?
yeah, beforehand I wanted to respond to what Kirita said.
Hmm.
They say yes, but you don't want to kick Khan or Rose mid-story, and no, we don't want to. But the difference is that with the finale that we had, we didn't rehearse anything. We didn't plan things out. We didn't really, aside from a comment of like, "Don't be too unhinged." Basically, that was essentially as far
Yeah.
as the planning went. And there's a very, very big difference between that type of finale and this type of hype, like high production finale. Because in this one, everyone would be on the same page. So the understanding is that you wouldn't have to kick them mid-story. Like, everyone is on the same page. Everyone
Yeah.
would know the cue sheets. Everyone understand all of that. And there's
Yeah.
communication.
They would know that, okay, we're going to go in there and we're going to talk for 15 minutes. And
Yeah.
so,
Hell,
there will be a clock and you'll know, okay, don't start a big story close
there
to
is a
the end of the
good
15
chance.
minutes.
Yeah, there's a good chance that we would probably have someone in our ears saying stuff like, okay, we'll cut to this in, this amount of time. Hell, we might even have like the cue sheets visible to us in the world, stuff like that. It's definitely doable.
I mean, we did have people in our ears there at for the
Yeah,
finale. Like, I definitely had
it was
Raspy and Owen yelling at
difficult.
me like, "Hey, you should introduce the next guest,"
Yeah,
because we would just be yapping.
I had a very hard time hearing them, not because they were low, but because there was so much going on.
Yeah, I get. That's why I was trying. I was definitely trying to be the person to, like, okay, I'm gonna listen to them and I'm gonna take. Okay, yeah, let's. Anyway, enough of that. Let's introduce Rose or whatever. Let's introduce this guest, because I
Yeah.
could tell that you were not hearing them most of the time.
Yeah, I was trying to pay attention to the guests and like be respectful to them and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the co-host is for. At least in, like, this scenario, is like I'm the person to be like, "Hey, they're telling us that we need to keep going. Let's keep going."
Yeah, and no, it was not mainly directed to Rose. It was generally speaking.
Yeah, it was everybody. Like, it was
Yeah,
the whole time. They were talking in our ears. Uh, but yeah, okay. The original idea was, I mean, telethon. It was, and there was an idea that you had for, based off of that Swedish show, of like ongoing stuff, like things that ran through the entire finale.
yeah, just in between skits. That would be like a short story. So the example that I use is that I think it was 2022, maybe 2021. The co-host basically had, because it's a lottery, so at the end of the event or in the last section, they have a big giveaway of like 1,000,000 Swedish crowns, and the way they
So, like,
push
$4.
for that like finale is that they put a credit card with the show's like icon on it, represent like it represents the giveaway. Basically, they put that in a big ice cube. So over the course of the show, the co-host mission was to basically melt the ice cube, and it was kind of like an overarching story with small skits and stuff. So it starts off with like he sits with a small ice hack hammer. um it changes to like a hair blower or something like that, and the last skit is he comes out with an actual flamethrower to melt the ice. And that was kind of where that idea came from. It's definitely something I would want to come back to. I think it sounds really,
Yeah, I think
really
running
funny.
jokes, like
Yeah, a
periodic,
running joke, yes.
they could be funny. But that was something that got scrapped with time. Uh, I think there was always the section for the dancers, right? Like, we wanted to get
Yeah,
the dancers and do all that. Have
I
me dancing with Rose and, no, you with Ame.
um yeah. The original plan was you with Rose, me with Ame, and I would have the others there as well. If they wanted to join me, they could. I did talk with Topper beforehand because I wanted to make sure if he was okay, comfortable with it. He did say that, because I asked him if he would be up for participating in the dancing, And originally he said that the way I interpreted what he said was basically him saying no in a nice way. He wasn't really too interested, but he I don't know. I hope he didn't feel pressured to do it, but like
Yeah, I mean,
major
he didn't
fucking
have
shout out to
to.
him for going through with it and
Ooh, a new
participating.
user!
I think that was
We're gonna
fucking
have so
awesome.
much fun!
He really did not
Yeah,
have to.
he could have
But
just sat
that
behind a
that was
wall
a
and
little bit
watched,
funny. Yeah.
getting Tupper to dance. Yeah, there was the unfortunate Ame not having their stuff charged and not feeling very well as well.
Yeah.
So she got there a bit late, so you had to dance with one of the hosts.
Yeah, I danced with Leafian once and then one of the co-hosts
Hmm.
or assistants, I think
But yeah,
they were.
that was fun. I'm sad that it was as short as it was, I'll be honest. I feel like we could have done that for longer. Like
Yeah.
it was only like 20 minutes, it felt like, of actual
Yeah.
dancing. So if we do that again, I'd like to have a longer session, a longer dance lesson. I think could be fun. We can really get into it and dance, like actually learn.
Yeah. I I think it's a very cool idea and I don't think it's the best idea suited for something like that. I think it's the wrong show to incorporate it in because it's that type of show is intended to have like there in the moment happening now type of stuff. It doesn't really do them
Yeah.
justice in my opinion.
I mean, again, with the original idea of a telethon, and if we had like sets, then we could physically walk over to a
Yeah.
separate set, have them show up, do the dancing, and then like go back. And it would look
Yeah.
good and it would feel good. But in the
Oh,
way that we did it,
that reminds me actually. So one of the original ideas for the finale, how it was originally, was that um, because we wanted to have a bunch of people um, participating in it, originally we wanted to make it so that everything that was part of the finale would happen in the world. So we were actually, with the help of Tap and Soul, we were basically making, you could almost call it like an OBS overlay that would be applied in the world instead of
mm,
in OBS. Because that way, anyone that is streaming that world would receive basically all the information, all the videos, everything like that directly. And that is something that I feel very comfortably that we will be returning to. And I think that's going to be one of the core features, or not core feature, but definitely like one of the, okay, not a core feature, an advanced feature for the studio world, because it is a very, very high production type of feature. It does require VFCDN stream on the side and special things like that. But it adds an ability to like co-stream it in a way that unironically I don't think anyone has done before. I don't think anyone has made a system that is that co-stream friendly. Because it would be quite
yeah.
literally plug and play. You would not have to do anything in your own OBS. You go in, you click a button, congrats, you co-streaming it. It is
Oh,
for streamers. Okay, what does that trumpet mean?
it's Lay. Are you really questioning anything he says?
Yes, I'm questioning it. I think this is a very, very cool feature. So yes, I am bragging about it. I don't know
Yeah, I
what the
mean, yeah.
trumpet means, but
Do you think he knows what it means?
it's done with camera assisted, but never for actual production stuff. Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I think for future stuff, and not spoiling anything, the idea that I gave you about a potential, summer event, like that potential event, I think that could work for that as well, of
Yeah.
having it as an overlay there.
Yep.
That could be interesting. So, yeah, I mean, it's very impressive, and I hope it gets done, and I hope that it can become a thing, because that sounds really cool and simple.
Yeah.
What other stuff from the finale do
Yeah.
you wanna talk about?
Um,
Oh?
I was gonna respond to Tap. For the finale itself, I don't really know what else. I think we've covered most of it. At least I like the base stuff that we can talk about without revealing too much, I guess.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed having the people that we
Then
got.
yeah, they did fucking great. What I was gonna say about what Tap said is, well, he says next time though we gotta have more time. Hopefully next time my time isn't totally taken up by VCAT. Yeah, that's the thing um with a studio world like the one that we've been taught. To be clear as well, this studio idea, it's something that we have had kind of like in the back of our heads for probably over a year now. It has
Yeah.
been talked about on and off, and we've talked about more ideas, realizing some features that we really want. But I think
Since
this is the first time where it's really been like, yeah, we need this. This is gonna save a lot of trouble. This is something that, because the game show world that we've used that multiple times now, and that's the best like kind of example of something like that. We want that, but more versatile and more user friendly.
yeah,
And
I think
basically, going back to what Tap said, having a studio world like that studio world, I can guarantee you for a fact that will be used for next Christmas event, whether it's the finale or like one of the event days. It will be used in one way or another, and we want to use that for other events as well. So having that right now, or like working on that already, getting started on it, discussing ideas and stuff like that, realizing that world and what it would be, what it can be, is going to save us trouble in the long term. So technically speaking, yes, we've kind of already started on next year's finale. Technically.
fuck yeah. Um, I was gonna say, you said it's been like about a year since we mentioned like any sort of studio world like that, but I would go further and say 2 years ago when we were doing the Christmas play. Like, if you remember that world, the world that the play is in, there's like a big green screen area. There is the little set that you did the modcast in, or I don't know if it's modcast, but
Yeah.
there's like the
Oh
room
yeah.
with all that stuff. There's a bunch of props. I think that was the first foray into a studio type world, and I think
Yeah.
having like that big auditorium, stage, that little room, having all of the sets from the Easter event, the game shows, the Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, talk show, uh, game show. I think having all of those in like one world with the sets would work. Also, whatever I've said has given Tot an idea, so she is now frantically writing it
Kind of,
down.
you kind of also what I was going about. But yeah, one
But
of
yeah,
the um sorry. Yeah.
no, you're good. I was done.
Uh okay. Um one of the, I guess, fundamental core systems that will be used for the studio world is this world is planned to be like a public world, so other people, other content creators can also use this. That's like one of the core like important things to me, is that I want anyone to be able to use this. not just our team. One of the core features is the ability to using VRChat persistence. I have loosely made a system that basically lets you, partially inspired by Lavis furniture system he made for the Dollhouse event. Basically, you put like furniture in on the set within a designated area, and then you will have the ability to essentially save their location and rotation, and doing that for all the furniture that you've used and serializing it to be able to store it as like the ability to basically design a set in the world and then load, save the set. You would be able to share it or load it, and using persistence you could build up your own like stored lists of sets ahead of time. And I just realized that idea could be used for cameras as well.
Oh. Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds
Make
like
preset camera angles and stuff that you can load, and yeah.
like there are, you know, those like idle worlds where like you sit in them for a while and you hit save and it gives you a code and you save that to like a text
Yeah.
document and then whenever you want to come back you just put that code in. I assume it's like that, except
Yes.
with like the
The exact
settings and
same idea.
stuff.
Turning
The
data
question,
into strings, basically.
would that fuck up if you update the world? If like you add new things to the world, would that not mess with the code?
It
Like
depends on
if
how you add
you,
it and what you
What
add.
exactly do you expect
yeah,
me
like
to
if you add more
There are
puff
ways
or
to
more
handle
sets
that.
or whatever. Like stuff like that, simple things.
The initial thing that comes to mind is that you could quite literally, at the start of the playlist string, or if you save a set, at the start of it, you could also save like the map version. And then if you make a drastic change to how you store the data and how you load the data, you can make a conversion. So like if someone loads an old string, you could add, or you can use the version to convert it to the new loading system.
If
That's like the
if
first thing that comes to mind.
if you can figure out how to do that, go for it because it sounds cool. But that, at least the way that you're saying things sounds intensive.
Oh my, okay.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
wow.
You want to say it
Kiritsi
or?
just, I don't know
Oh,
if I should say this because this is a goal. Like, I'm gonna DM it to you. This
oh,
is like
okay,
actually a fucking goal idea. I'm gonna write it down first so I don't forget.
okay. Don't, whatever you said, don't say it publicly because yeah, uh, she wants to do something with it maybe, but I don't know what it is yet. So I'll see if I think it's cool. But yeah, there's a lot of things that I think having a set that you can
G-
set stuff up would be cool for. Even just the game show stuff. A lot of the game shows. I mean, there was something brought up earlier of a game show that we might want to do that we'd have to figure out, but could be fun. And I'm looking forward to it, and I hope everyone else is. Because listen, chat, if you like game shows, this is the year for you because
yeah.
Tot really
That
wants
okay.
to do game show stuff.
That is a very fucking interesting idea. I think
Ah.
you could challenge them. Think
If
Baldman.
it's, I'm thinking bald man. What does that have to do with? Huh? Think bald man with this. Ah.
Dude, that,
Okay.
oh my god, that is
Okay.
such a cool idea.
Yeah, I mean, if Yeah, that would be its own separate thing. Like that wouldn't be the stage world. That would be its own thing. I take it
Yeah, you
because
could use the
you.
stage, but no, that
I'll
would
say
probably be its
you.
own thing.
Yeah, you would need its own setting for that.
Yeah,
The red M&M.
that
That's
is.
tight.
Oh my god, that's such a good idea.
Yeah,
I
that
fucking love it.
that could be something. The blue M&M, fucking the red
Honestly, that
M&M.
could be a fucking Christmas event day as well. Holy shit.
You
There's
know
so
what?
much
Yeah,
potential with that.
yeah. You could do
Oh
that for
my
Christmas
god,
next
that
year.
is.
That's a good idea for
Holy
next
shit,
year.
Kurutsu. Yeah?
Green M&M has corporate mommy energy.
Wow.
Yellow M. But yeah, I mean that's a good idea. I'm trying to think. You could you could use that system as well for game show stuff.
Yeah.
For certain game shows, that could be applicable.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Hell,
a
we
good
could
idea.
probably use it for. It's probably actually a good idea to use it for that summer game show idea that you had. I think it could
Oh
be utilized
yeah,
for that. At least save trouble.
yeah. That
I,
would
f-
definitely
I
help.
think it
Like
adds a bit of
I'm realizing,
potential to
yeah,
it.
like not exactly that, but the persistence thing, the saving it. You
Yeah.
could set up worlds
Yeah.
beforehand. You can set up everything of like, okay, for this day we're gonna do this, and then for this day we're gonna do this. So you can make the world, set everything up, have it all ready, so that
Yeah.
whenever you go in there for
Okay.
the
So
day
it's
of,
kind of like
you're done.
specifically rolling back a bit.
Mhm.
Specifically, the persistence with the ability to move objects and then save it. That combination is something that I think could be like vital to most of the game shows or worlds and stuff that we make, just because it would allow us to essentially make on the fly edits without having to
Mm.
re-upload.
Yeah. I'm also realizing, like, for the summer event I had, you can set up like an entire room, go out
Yeah,
of it, like walk around a bit, and then have that room change to a different room, and then
you could make
go back.
yeah presets for it. That oh
Yeah,
my
and
god,
then for each of the different things that are happening that day,
this is
you've got it.
such a good system, just
Yeah,
all
you just need to
around.
make it. You really need to
I
make it,
well,
Dot.
that's the thing. I
Mhm.
have the core feature of it. I have currently the loading and saving. It's more about expanding on it for the specific bonus features that we kind of discussed now. But the core system, it exists. It needs bug testing, but it exists. I had to show you the stage builder world. Oh, I would love to see that.
Yeah. And I mean, just the idea of doing that. Like, I mean, you remember like yeah, yeah, I'm imagining because there's an idea for like yeah, I don't want to I don't want to say anything because there are things that potentially could be done in the future.
Yeah,
But yeah, being able to change the settings of a world, to be able to change like posters or like stuff, just general design, uh, without having to like
yeah.
change worlds or update anything. Granted, it could be done with like toggles and stuff, but yeah, it, that's a good system. And it would
You
be
could
great to figure it out and
you
implement
could
it.
even host stuff like that like externally to make the world, I guess, lighter. build a better world? Yeah, kind of. Using like image loading and use that for like, for example, posters.
Yeah.
You could host the actual posters like separately and just load them on demand.
If that can work like that, yeah. If it's less intensive.
I don't I don't know the full extent of what's possible and whatnot, so that's probably something that well, Tap is definitely more knowledgeable, but there's potential there. For the overlay, we use a system that makes use of image links. Yeah. Man. And the thing is, what really, really makes me excited about this is that there's not really, as far as I know, any public worlds that have these sort of capabilities. So it would open up a lot of potential for other creators as well.
Yeah, I think the closest, and it's not even really too similar, but like the audience anarchy with like sets that you can change, that you can pick. Other
Yeah.
than that, then like yeah, I can't think of anything like that that's public.
Yeah, and like having that is another thing. This is something that I haven't done yet, but having like a teleprompter, that is something that I want. The ability
That
to,
would be cool.
uh, yeah, instead of like, you have the cue sheet, but you also have like a teleprompter that could give like special notes or straight up script if needed. You can keep it very simple as just bullet points as well. Just any kind of information you need, or hell, for someone in the production team to literally just communicate.
Please wrap it up.
Yeah,
Game show awards. Please wrap it up.
stuff like that. Just it it is definitely meant to be a world that it's a high production world. You would be able to utilize it on your own, but it is intended to be a world that you have a team for.
Yeah. It's definitely a group effort. And having the teleprompter there will be great until you accidentally put like an overlay
The
over it and
B-movie
you don't
scripts.
see it. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities.
Yeah. Talking about this sort of stuff, it makes me very excited for it. Like,
Yeah, I'm glad. It makes you want to like actually work on stuff, which is good.
yeah. Another big reason is because it is an idea and of something that we have discussed for like over a year. So it's cool to
Mm.
finally see it like coming to fruition. And another thing that kind of got me excited as well is seeing Tap kind of go through his booth for Weekend and talk about that a bit and how much they optimized it. That is also like, I really want the world to be like optimized. So for the like anything that is not in the camera should be as optimized as possible. It should have as little performance hit on, I guess, the production team as possible.
Yeah.
So for example, right now I have a very, very simple basic, just it's basically just the shell with a bunch of like scripts and systems in it right now. But the shell, or like the studio house itself, is all a single 8x8 pixel material or texture and a single material. Just because I literally want it to be like, it should have no impact on you at all.
Yeah, I mean if you want like everybody to be able to use it, yeah. Have it as
Yeah, not only
optimized
that, but
as
it's also
physically
for,
possible.
yeah, so another example, it doesn't have a skybox, it just has a plain color. Has no like no extra stuff like that. Purely just because the only thing that should impact performance should be the stuff that the viewers also see. That way you can put all the quality into that.
Yeah, if it's not on camera, why is it, taking frames or whatever?
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, that I'm looking forward to everything that's gonna be happening this year.
I'm very excited for it as well.
Next year.
I
Yeah,
think
sorry.
also, yeah, I think also something that really makes me look forward to it is that with a studio world like that, it would be a lot easier to just randomly do a game show if we feel like it.
Yeah, because then all we need to do is just get the script, like, figure out what game show we wanna do. Like, "Oh, we wanna do Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?"
Yeah.
Get some questions, get 2 contestants, get a host. There you go. You have the world. And make everything so much simpler.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna try to one up because,
Yeah.
well, to be fair, I don't think it's gonna be hard to one up this year's Christmas. I think that's gonna be a pretty easy one.
Yeah, as long
Um,
as we're not late every day, I consider that a success for
yeah.
next year.
If anything, it will be one upping the dollhouse. And I guess you could make the argument that that is kind of what we're heading towards, kind of. But the thing is, we're prepared. Like, any idea in that direction relies on the studio world, and the studio world is something that we want for other stuff as well. That's why, personally at least, I'm not really worried about that. And again, one more thing that haven't really been covered is that this is turning to just talking about the studio world, but I think it's such a
Yeah.
cool concept and such an interesting idea. Um, give this year's event an IGN rating 9 out of 10.
No,
Could have been better.
that's a
9 out of 10.
I would say
Sorry,
8
is
out
it
of
7
10.
they say?
What?
They have a specific number they give to any games because they don't give low ratings. I think it's 7.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I know. Yeah, 8. It's 8 out of 10. Too much water, I think,
Okay.
or is it 7 out of 10? Too much water. I could have sworn it was 8. I don't know. One of those two.
Is it by a range of 100?
That's
Oh! So
that's
it's
not
70 or
true.
80.
No, IGN only does to 10. Blaze
Yeah,
lying to you.
I have no clue. Um, what I was gonna say about the studio world is that the the set is basically made in a way that I have a prefab, or not a prefab, a Blender file for essentially like the dimensions of the set itself, and I could like release that both to the event team but also like to the community, and anyone could make a set within the basically almost think like a VKit booth to some degree.
Oh,
Anyone could design a set in there and it could be uploaded and added. Simple as that. Drag and drop.
oh, yeah. I didn't. Yeah, you could like share it. Like somebody could make a cool world, and that. I mean, if you give enough props and stuff, if you have enough variety, you can do like a little competition type thing, not like too serious, but like who can make the best set? Who can make the most interesting
Yeah,
set? And have like a little competition of rating people's
that's
stuff.
cool. Yeah, because using the string loading and stuff like that would be super easy. Anyone could access them and they could be added like as default sets in the world. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I think it could be fun. And also, yeah, this has turned into us just talking about the studio world. I mean, there's not really too much else for us to talk about with the event now. We kind of went over everything, right? Do you have anything else you want to say about it?
Not really.
Yeah. So like now it's just we can talk about whatever. I mean, we're 3 hours in.
No, Karitsu. The Fry version 3 is not being delayed. It's just that, as I said, the studio is priority number 1.
Yeah, and it should be. With the amount of stuff that we can do with the studio world, having it done as soon as possible would be good, including hosting the Fry event can be done in the
Yep.
studio world. But yeah, I mean, we kinda talked about everything. If
Yeah.
unless there's anything else you wanna talk about, do you wanna do the raffle stuff? 'Cause I think we did a good enough podcast here. 3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Oh, we can end with an apple.
Oh, sure.
We didn't really take anything. So for the grand finale of, of this episode of Unscripted Toast, yeah, you can prepare the raffle stuff while I give this beautiful review. Chat, I genuinely think you're going to like this apple because we have here today John Apple himself. This is literally the Jonathan Apple. I cannot make that up. John Apple. This mealy disgrace, named after the boy in your 3rd grade class who always had dirt on his face, had the consistency of old snow wrapped in electrical tape. The only thing more difficult than getting past the off-putting name of Jonathan, a fine name for a boy with a lollipop, but not for a fruit, is burrowing through the leathery, deep red skin shrouded in its mushy innards. A quite handsome apple with exceptional juiciness. Jonathan once held so much promise. But this early 19th century heirloom is destined to be homeschooled, as it is too sensitive to both disease and bruising to flourish in a normal setting. The best we can hope for from sweet little Jonathan is a decent juice or cider, but in all likelihood, this apple will slowly fade from our sight and memory only to be loved by its own mother. Bonus points to cider. You'd think John Apple would be like the best apple because he's literally John Apple. But no, it's a 39 out of 100. It's not a very good apple. It's red. It looks like a red delicious, but it's not.
Yeah,
Well,
Jonathan Apple, that makes me picture like the ultimate apple.
fuck you, Lay. He keeps sending me pictures of fucking Soy Jack wearing apples. Whoa, Tot, you've never looked more beautiful. I just want to take a bite out of that. Whoa, it's spinning. I didn't know you could do tricks. Anyway. Yeah, that's kind of it for Unscripted Toast. It was a good episode. Talked a lot about the event. Got it all out there. You can finally put those thoughts to the back of your mind and move on to the lovely raffle winners. I don't know how that's all going to be
Well,
set up, by the way.